Good evening, gamers! Welcome back to the Low Budget LCS. My name is LaChance, and tonight I'm joined by a spooky man. He's coming through the walls!
Spooky
man. Normal man.
Normal man, just a little spooky. I'm not the spooky man. I'm simply a spooky man, one of many. But happy to be here alongside my good friend LaChance for what should be a fantastic series ahead of us tonight.
Dude, it's week 7 of the Low Budget LCS, and if for some reason the 10 viewers right now, as people begin to funnel in, one of you has not played in the Low Budget LCS before, you should know that we do 7 weeks of a regular season and we do a makeup week. So this week is going to have a lot of implications for playoffs, and that is exactly the stakes of this game. 2 teams on the cusp of making the top 4 for the playoffs in their group, and it's just going to come down to it, isn't it?
It's just going to come down to it. I mean, you know, if you had talked to me at this point last week, I would say we probably wouldn't be here for this group. Kickin Squids really making a late season surge towards the playoffs here. A big 2-0 earlier this week against the #1 team in the division has set them up for what could be a fantastic miracle run into playoffs, which is very exciting to see, but can have their work cut out for them against a stalwart powerhouse in Nefarious Gaming, Omens, NGO, as we like to call them in the biz.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, last night, actually, Kickin Squids, if you joined us on stream, had the, dare I say, honor to play against Optimal Esports Horizons, who, hats off to them, has been tearing through economy.
Absolute menace.
Absolute menace. These guys have popped off so hard. I'm on a team in economy Group B, and they gutted us, absolutely eviscerated us in a 2-0. So going into this, you wouldn't have been faulted for saying, hey, both good teams. I think it's going to swing the way of Optimal Esports, but Kickin Squids, you know, you got all those arms, those squishy little tentacles. They found their way through that little crack, got themselves a 2-0, and now with these last 2 games, really do have a chance to make playoffs.
You know, if we've learned anything from the past couple seasons, it's that you can't count out the Kickin Squids. This team has been together for a long time. They are a previous economy champion. They are a lot of veterans in the league. And so they're kind of, you know, when you've spent a lot of time playing in the LBLCS, and I'm sure you can attest to it as a longtime player, your baseline for how you play seems to rise a bit, where it's like, you know, you don't get as flustered as you once did when you first started in the league. And so I think that, you know, having a couple of stalwart veterans on their side is really going to do well as we get into the draft for game 1 here.
100%. And in that draft, we are, Banfei done, first picking Viger for the Kickin Squids.
Wait, hold up. I'm a little confused. LaChance, are you in this game right now playing for the Kickin Squids?
Listen, dude, you trying to blow up my spot with all my Viger play? Viger, very strong in economy. Let's just say that.
I mean, honestly, just a very strong pick in general. We're starting to see it sprout up in pro play. 100 Thieves, Quid played it a bunch in their playoff run. We're starting to see it sprout up as a counter pick to Ahri in pro play. Just a very effective champion that can kind of neutralize the lane, scale to late, and also as a counter to Smolder. You know, infinitely stacking champion. How do you counter the infinite stacking champion? Infinite stacking AP on the R, just one tap it. But on the other side here, for Omens, I'm going to abbreviate their name to just Omens for a little bit here. They grabbed the Ezreal and Viego. Ezreal, very hard champion to pin down. Does require a high level of execution to kind of be as effective as some of the more simple-based ADCs, but if piloted effectively, very hard to pin down, even with a Viger cage or something of that nature.
Absolutely, very true. Lee Sin being locked in as well. We've got the Viego. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this Lee Sin pickup here. A very good champion into the Viego, able to skirmish with it early while also being made to make an impact late. Able to contest a lot of Viego's early strength. That's something like a tank jungler can't really do. And with the Nautilus getting picked up here, we see the immediate counter pick from Sammy Two Slap. Sammy Two Slap, a very renowned Taric player, picked it in their series last week where they got a 2-0. Very effective on this pick, and a fantastic pairing with the Ezreal. That lane is going to be incredibly difficult to pin down. A lot of sustain, a lot of range, and ultimately into a team comp with Lee Sin and Nautilus, both engage champions. Taric, a fantastic pick into it. Although, if I'm gonna be honest here, I think Sammy was probably going to pick the Taric regardless of what the other team picked. You leave it open, the man's going to pick it. As the 4 bans here in the second phase come through so quickly here, we see the Smolder and Aphelios banned away from Omens. They're great lane counters into the Ezreal / scaling champions that can really give them a headache late game. And on the other side, we see 2 fantastic mid lane picks here in the Lissandra and the Syndra taken away. Both very strong picks, very easy to play around, especially with the Viego. Great setup to try and get it ahead. And so when it comes into the second rotation here, Omens blind picking the Kickin in the top lane. Another very strong pick, but an interesting chance to see blind here.
Yeah, this is also can't help but say, Kabos, what's up? I see you in there, Vega. Saw you as well, Luffy. How's it going? Sorry, in the early parts of these streams, we skim by everyone, and I keep telling myself I'll say hi, and then we just get distracted by draft. So I'm saying hello right now to everybody who has said hi so far.
Pickle Hater 77 says Rat House or Rathus. That's a good point. It is technically Rathus, so we should be referring to him by his proper name.
I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
I know it doesn't feel right. It doesn't have as good of mouthfeel.
I discovered that like at the end of last year in full genuine like that's for so real.
But picks here, the Urgot and the Jinx coming through. Lot of scaling on the sides of the Kickin Squids here with the Jinx Viger, but also a very strong lane. Jinx Nautilus is a really nasty combo. Everyone who's played bot lane has had the feeling of getting CC'd by Nautilus and getting the traps from the Jinx thrown down on top of you. Just extending that CC makes it very difficult to lane. A big move here, grabbing the Yone for Devil. A really good pick into Viger, can fight early with the snapback. You know, you can kind of like immune the cage, right? Because you can snap back through it. But looking at both sides here, I mean, you know, again, this is economy, and if we know anything from economy, there's gonna be team fights. It's impossible to have an economy game because, you know, in economy in particular, right? It's very difficult to snowball an early game, right? Because snowballing an early game requires you to be methodical with a lead, to not. Whereas we know, you know, economy is the most exciting for a reason,
right? And
it's because everyone's bloodthirsty, everyone's see kill, get kill. So we're definitely going to get team fights, and I think both teams have kind of drafted heavily for the team fight. Yes, I would say that Omens probably has the side lane advantage in a strictly, you know, if you're going to go lane by lane here in a side lane, eventually the Kickin will just be a nightmare for anyone to deal with, the Yone too. But side lane, Schmine lane, I think when it comes down to a team fight, that the execution on the Kickin Squids looks so easy.
Side lane, Schmine, as my grandmother used to say, absolutely. The old saying. Listen, I think you're right, but here's the real question, folks at home. What do you think? And you've got a chance to show us by betting your schmeckles in the prediction that just went live. Who will win game 1? Will it be the Kickin Squids or Nefarious Omens? That is the question. And these folks...
That is the question. I see Red Face Beast in the chat. Lee about to make Kickin his 7th camp. I totally agree. I think the Lee Sin Urgot combo, if Kickin does not have flash up, is going to have a real tough time. Now, that being said, though, Viego matched up with a Kickin is going to be a very difficult combo for the Urgot to deal with, right? I think top lane in general is just going to be an absolute slugfest, right? But I think, that's if the junglers choose to go up top, right? I know that in particular, we see it a lot with these kind of, when you have a Jinx in the bot lane, when you have a Ezreal Taric, these kind of bot lanes, like if you can get them ahead, they're going to be able to just run the game over.
Right.
And especially in a game where there's going to be team fighting, having a fed ADC, that's a one team fight if everyone plays even remotely okay. So I'm interested to see if the junglers spend a lot of time heading down to this bot lane, or if they take advantage of how volatile this top lane matchup is going to be.
Wow, coming in with the resub with Prime for 32 months. 19 Steps says, that's a lot of months. Good luck, Squids. 19 Steps, actually a player on Kickin Squids out this game. That was something I was going to bring up, is that Rat House, listen, if you showed up last night, you saw the Jinx, you saw the pentakill. Rat House was playing that Jinx and ADC, now moved up to top lane. Things switched around at the moment, but that's some of the versatility of this team, right? Like, everyone's got a lot of experience. People can play in different positions. Lil Dear Lilia's noticing that right now.
If it makes you feel any better, Lil Dear Lilia, I'm casting this game, and I just figured that out as well. It's tough with a team like Kickin Squids, where so many of the players have been around for so long, and so many of them can play so many different positions depending on what kind of the lineup they have here is. Where they're going to go. It makes drafting against them an absolute nightmare, right? Because you just don't know, what champs people are playing in a position where you look at their OP.GG and they haven't played that position in months.
Right.
But, when you play in the game for as long as some of these players have been, it's old hat to just get into it.
You've got the muscle memory. Also, King J Blue, the casino is open, and that's what we're going to start calling predictions. Just know that you are the reason why we're going to start calling it the casino.
I love that.
But hold on, I gotta fucking ping you. It is open. Vote. Everybody, there's like a minute and 30 seconds left. If you showed up to vote, now is the time to gamble, to bet. Dude, I've been playing Balatro recently.
I've seen, dude, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little concerned when I first saw it.
You should be. Yeah, you're right. All of your instincts are right. Yeah, man, that game got me. And this is why, I shouldn't actually gamble, because I don't want to find out if I would be an addict.
It's kind of nice, the romantic notion of being like,
totally.
I would love gambling. Ha ha ha. It's a lot more fun to live in that moment,
right,
than to live in the post moment where you realize that you do, and that this is something that you're going to need to watch for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, agreed. And I've got some heavy suspicions about myself in that regard.
Gambling is one of those things with such a fine line, like drugs and alcohol, right? Where it's just there's a fine line of, obviously, drink responsibly, that's a given, but there's a fine line between fun and life ruining,
right?
And in walking that line is one of life's great challenges. So I say that we should take you to a casino and just dive head first, right?
Let's go, buddy.
I think. Yeah, you know what? Let's get a vote in the chat. Let's see who thinks we should take the chance to a casino and see if it ruins his life.
Well, here's the thing. I want to play one of those murder mysteries in a casino with no regard for the rest of the casino. It's a good idea, right? It's a good idea.
So good.
And I've got one that it would be 25 people, and it's casino themed, even better.
Getting everyone all dressed up in costume, just going buck wild.
Dude.
So fun.
Dude.
So fun.
Dude.
I quit smoking cigarettes a long time ago, but I'll start smoking cigarettes again for my character.
This is a great idea. Let's charge forward with this.
I love it so much.
Goddamn. I was talking to our mutual buddy Garrett at the gym today about that. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's not talk any more about it because I'm going to start talking about a certain bachelor party that we're going to be going to and plans for that.
Lock in live, drink responsibly, unless, of course, it takes two to tango. Spam takes two to tango in the chat, please. Let's go.
Here's the thing. The takes two to tango, the thing that you can, like, buy for the... Oh, Luffy's the hunk. Luffy's absolutely the hunk. Oh, shit. We have a new investor in the low-budget LCS. Payne, I want to personally thank you for becoming an investor in the low-budget LCS. It's been a long road and an uncertain one at times, but with you here, with your steady hand on the wheel of our organization, I feel a lot more comfortable. So Payne, thank you. Thank you for that follow.
We can't wait to embezzle the funds. I mean,
sorry. Damn it, dude. Dude.
I know, we went over this.
Dude. We can only say that when the cameras are off. I guess not cameras, but the recordings. There are cameras, they have nothing to do with the stream.
Right, we just set them up for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind.
Oh, son of a bitch, of course.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'd love to see the game, you know what I mean?
Okay, we got it. We're good.
Fantastic.
Okay. I think this is gonna work. Let's press this button.
Oh, it's gonna work, I believe.
Come on. Yes! Would you look at that? We're back.
So proud of you.
Thanks,
so
man. Me too.
I think we can all say we're just so proud of you, dude.
From where that listen, Payne, if you're still out there, you know where we started was just when we would stream. The stream would crash 5 times easily, almost every stream. 3 to 5. Let's be real.
Yep.
And
easily.
You know, it would break all the time. And because I'm talking about this, you know, I might bring that evil on us tonight. But
I'm looking around for some wood around me to start knocking.
Yeah.
Just to really get ahead of this.
This desk is painted to look like it's wood, but it is not wood. God, dude, I want one of those standing desks so bad. The ones that like have like a little motor on it and it can go from standing to sitting.
Oh, yeah. I will say standing desks, one of those ideas, fantastic in theory. When you're actually using them, it's not. I had one in the office, and it was not.
Didn't do it for you.
It didn't do it for me. It was just like I would stand for, just a couple minutes, and just like I go to type something, and like typing from that standing position, you're just like it doesn't feel right.
I could see
and
that.
whatnot. And all of a sudden, you're just like, I'm just gonna sit down. Like it feels good the first couple times you do it, and then you just find yourself just never using it. But that could just be me. You know what I mean?
I totally hear you. I'm also mainly thinking of it with oh god, my brain.
Dutch Krampus in the chat. I have a standing desk in my office. Almost never use it in standing mode. Dude, I feel you, man. I had it for so long, and I asked our IT guy for months to finally get it set up for me in my office, and when they finally did, I felt so bad.
I would be interested in seeing how it felt to cast with, so that I could like stand right.
So you can get all hyped and whatnot. Yeah, that'd be great.
Exactly.
Speaking of getting hyped, we have a 5-man.
Oh, we absolutely are. But Sammy should see it coming. Drops the ward, finds his way into another bush. He does make it out. The good Lord has protected Sammy 2-Slap today. And the Kickin Squids, the mollusks that they are, slither back into their domain, into the reefs of the blue side.
Now, important to note here, they did not get a ward down, it looks. So not going to have as much knowledge, actually, as the side of NGO. But they're going to do a little late bait. Oh, the hook just goes wide, very close. That would have been a huge pickup for them if they could have gotten even a flash out of the Ezreal or something like that. But just happy to do a little poking and prodding. But yeah, important to note, the Viego did get a ward down on the blue buff of the Kickin Squid, so they will have full knowledge of where the jungler is starting. Which we'll see how they choose to use it. Both junglers doing a little mirror here, both starting at the red buff. So Lee Sin going to be looking to path up towards that top lane, impact that Bird got, and try and get it ahead against this Kennen. on the other side, the Viego looking to path down bot, kind of delay the power spikes of the Jinx. So, important to track in the early game, see which jungler kind of comes out ahead.
100%. And hot diggity damn Vader used choke coming in, dropping 5 subs on us. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the 5 lucky winners. Hold on, Devil going in? Nope, we're all good. The Devil has been delayed. Synergist, Ski-Wee, level 24. Oh, look at that flash right there, and the connection just isn't there at the moment. Good reaction time. Both these teams ready here to play. Breho, Trangist, level 24 Pidgey. Congrats to y'all for getting that. And I missed somebody else subscribed or followed earlier. Comment so I can see your name again, so I can personally thank you, because I missed you, and that just will not do.
No, it will not. Have to make sure you get the recognition that you deserve for being a valued... Oh,
Blanco Mamba. Blanco Mamba. The white snake? Hold on a second. This gank going out to Blanco Mamba right here. Rathouse looking to find the CC. He does find it. The cannon. We talked about how it could be in trouble. Galson getting some CC out on their own, but the flash away, and they dodge the Q. Holy shit. That is a quick little mouse.
That is a quick little mouse. Forces the flash out. A really good E from Rafus.
Uh-oh. The action just refuses to stop. Except when it does.
Except when it does. A great usage of the traps there from Evander. Throws down the traps, kind of dissuades. The Viego, pre-6, doesn't really have a way over those traps. So just going to be content with just kind of pushing them back and giving their bot lane the comfort to be able to push out a wave. But big gank from Waffles in the top lane. The cannon without flash had to back and TP in. So just goes for the boots with the cull.
Boots
the
with the call, with the call.
The whole club was looking
at call.
Yeah, there was something there.
We're going to work on that.
We both felt it. Yeah. But yeah, as Redface Beast in the chat says, just raw dog eat him. Just a dry E. It's on the cannon. But Urgot E, one of those abilities that, like, when you're playing, if you don't play a lot of Urgot, its range, it's like a Scion Q, where it goes a little further than what you think, and like it tags you in ways you don't think it's going to. Some heavy trading here from Devil. We're gonna be seeing this all game. When you're playing, you've all played against Yone mid. All it does is just E at you, use all of its abilities, snap back, and you're at half health. So gonna have to keep an eye on that and see how Kev had allergies is able to handle the pressure.
100%. And Papoa coming in with a hunk alert for Sammy 2-slap, or Sammy 2-hunk. Oh, it's from the Count, the legendary vampire that haunts the halls of the low-budget LCS.
Hunk alert, honk, honk, honk.
Hunk, honk, honk, honk. We really should have a... Do I have anything? I just have this cheering sound effect. But Spooky, you are absolutely right. When you're playing Vigar and you find yourself really aggressed on by Devil here, you can't... The Devil's always on your shoulder, and you gotta keep an eye out for him. He can tempt you in spectacular ways. But yeah, it's gonna be like that for a while. The Devil is in the details. Dude, we're gonna get all the Devil references we can out in this game. Folks, put your favorite Devil reference in chat. We'll work it in.
I love it. An early dragon pickup here from the side of NGO. Really big to start stacking those. And extra impressive considering that Revander and Dragon Slayer Luke had the push for most of the early levels in the bot lane, so able to use that back timing from Revander and Dragon Slayer Luke to snag that dragon. A big pickup there, but Waffles in the top side looks like, yep, there it is picking up the grubs in response to kind of take advantage of the knowledge that Viego is bot side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Backs are coming down in the bot lane. Yeah, Luke's gonna try and stop it, but a wave pretty much stops Nautilus from doing most things to people.
Yep, yeah, pre-6, Nautilus not gonna be able to stop that there. Both mid laners are mid. A great sidestep there from Kevin Allergies on the Q3 from Devil, kind of prevents, but we see Uwufi hanging around this mid lane, knows that there's no vision.
Uwufi going in, he lands it. There's the CC and the follow-up. Kev's in some trouble, but he flashes, drops the cage. First blood going there. They will get stunned, but too little too late.
A big gank there from Uwufi, sees the timing, nails the flash W. He does smell blood. Little here, Lilia. And then a really good follow-up from Devil. They layered the CC perfectly, did not give Kev the opportunity to flash out and get out of the way of the Yone R. An early first blood from Uwufi. What you love to see on this Viego. Viego, a champion that does really well with early gold to start snowballing as you work towards that Kraken Slayer. And once that Kraken Slayer is got, the camps just die so quickly, you can really just start to snowball your lead into the Lee Sin. So we'll have to see. Kev did burn the flash there as well. Devil still has the flash up, so he's gonna have to play extra safe now with the lane state and the way it is.
Yeah, and here we go. No junglers a part of this one. So Kickin is able to escape like the normal back and forth at the very least from this Urgot.
Oh, 100%. It's not so much the it's not so much just the Urgot into Kickin. The real thing is that like Kickin is going to really struggle to be able to bully the Urgot, right? Yeah. Which is kind of what you need from the Kickin in the early levels to kind of take advantage of your range. But into the Urgot doesn't really have the means of doing that. Urgot has the wave clear too to kind of deal with it. But it's when that gank comes, that gank assist, right? A flash E from Urgot is pretty much unavoidable when Kennan's flashes down. So.
Absolutely. Waffles going for the kick right there. Woo! Nice. Oh, a good flash from Devil. Actually connects with the rocket right there. Waffles gets the kill. Cuts down to a fight right here. Revander's in rocket form. Dragon Slayer Luke has backed off, and now junglers fighting each other's in the bush. Woofy going quite low right there, trying to get some speed. Gets to the bush. Wise Tome coming through, but Waffles still has a lot of health. That's going to be... Whoa! Viego falls to the ground. A good flash from Sammy 2-slap. Lands the stun right there. Does like he's going to die in the end, but he allows the Ezreal to get the kill, and that trade may have prevented a further dive.
Ooh, lot burned there in that prolonged fight. Starts off with Waffles intercepting Uwufi in the river. You know, Uwufi thinks he's safe, waltzes into the mid brush, and Waffles is right there to punish him. Waffles was 6, which is critical. Uwufi was not. So Waffles able to land the R onto Devil into the cage. Devil forced to burn the flash, still dies and goes down, and Waffles with the extra level of power against Uwufi, able to really punish it as he chases him down. And then just, as you pointed out, a really good flash stun there from Sammy 2-slap allows the Ezreal to get a trade kill, which is going to go a long way in this matchup in the bot lane because Revander did not get any of those kills. 3 assists is huge, but did not get any of those kills. So the big pickup on the kill there from the Ezreal is going to be just really huge. And a really good call out in the chat, Lil Dear Lilia, the rocket predict was really good. That rocket damage coming through onto the flashing Yone went a huge way to secure.
Oh, Devil connects right here. Uwufi coming. There's the cage. The cage going to collect one, but not both. Oh my god, actually, almost everybody gets hit by the cage, but Uwufi, so persistent, stays on his target, is able to take Kev out once again.
Yeah, it looked okay for Kev, right? He lands the cage onto Uwufi. Uwufi ults right into the cage, but critically does not lead with the W. So Kev tries to run away, but Uwufi, after the stun comes off, is able to land the W and finish off the kill. Really, really good persistence there from Uwufi as they punish the flashless Viger in the mid lane. Something you called out early. It's a really tough lane for the Viger when your flash is down into something like the Yone here. So, the Yone now coming out wicked far ahead now with a 30 CS lead now on this Viego and on this Viger, and the Viego with the 2 kills is going to be a real menace to deal with if Waffles isn't able to transition his early 2 kills into the mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say, Vigar is a champion that plays with some excellent fiction, right? He's an ancient, evil wizard. And what do wizards do? They study over time. And if you give a wizard an infinite amount of time, he will become infinitely powerful. And that is the game that is played with the Vigar. You just need time. Now, the other team knows that too, and they're going to put everything they can. And speaking of putting everything into can, this is a great example of it. That's the Nautilus ult onto Wise Tome right there, but look at, oh, will it connect? Will it connect? There it is! The Tarkle goes off! He's invincible for a hot second, but Waffles makes the follow and actually kicks him out of the rocket, but it doesn't matter. He does get that kill, a 1-for-1 in the bot lane.
Woo! What looked like a fantastic ult from Sammy 2-slap buys them so much time right before Wiz Tome is about to go down. But a little bit of a miscommunication there from Waffles and Ravander, very clearly trying to hand the kill over to the Jinx, who is starting with that kill now, is at some time alone on the wave, is going to pull ahead of this Ezreal, but getting that kill there would have been really huge. But they still secure the kill. They'll still be happy with how that gank went, forcing the ult out of the Taric, which is a huge cooldown for the fights to come.
Totally, and I mean, credit where credit is due. This is the second support play we've seen from Sammy that has allowed a kill to be traded, right? Like, you don't trade kills there if you don't live for as long as they can, but here we go, a lot of action in the bot lane, right onto the Jinx. That's a Woofy with the damage, but now they're going to turn right onto Dragon Slayer. But look at that Spider-Man energy, able to hook his way out of there.
Able to hook it out indeed. Don't burn either sum from Evander, which is huge here because now with 4 guys around, they smell blood in the water here, and they're going to try and close in on a 4-2
Absolutely.
dive.
What is this, a Crossroads at night? Because here comes Devil diving in, gets a kill right there. Woofy actually is the one who picks it up. And look at that. Oh, wait, shoot, didn't even see the teleport. Rat House is in the house. Who's in the house? It's a rat. Squeak, squeak. There's something. Anyways, Urgot's going to clear the wave. Masterful teleport, and he's actually going to kind of walk on into this. Can these two make something happen here?
Oh, they definitely can here. A lot of cooldowns burnt on the side of NGO there. Gonna be happy that they got the kill. Another kill onto this Viego, another kill onto this Ezreal. You know, they get the kill onto both bot laners, but a big TP there from Rat House to really set him ahead here as he teleported in there with a completed hull breaker, right? So he's gonna be an absolute menace in this side lane. I actually love this hull breaker by into the Kickin in particular. Kickin and any AP champion, they're gonna really struggle with the empowered minion produced by the hull breaker, especially in the early stage of the game. So it's gonna really allow him to keep that lane pushed in and start to force this little bit of an advantage that he's eked out for himself.
100%.
Big fan of that buy.
And I gotta say, my favorite part about that item is that we all knew that it did that, and that's the most incredible thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When did they make it do that?
What, that it buffs a minion?
Yeah.
It's always done that.
What?
Yeah, it buffs, like, not always. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, that was a change that was made a while ago.
Oh my god, totally went over my head. I guess it's been a minute, but
yeah. It's one of those items that, like, the champions that like it really like it.
Sure.
And most of the other champions of the game don't really utilize it very well. And so it's I know that, but like the way that it was changed most recently is that now it's base stats, like the base buff it gives you for being alone.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a little bit of a collapse going on here right in the pit. Waffles misses the Q. There we go. Galson just dropping the ult right away. Kev has allergies in a little bit of trouble as they're going to dive right onto this Vigar. And who's going to snap back? It is, but now it's just Rat House alone in the 1v3. Can he do it? A lot of damage being dealt him. He's going down, but that is a double kill for the Kickin. A great response from NGO here in the pit.
And even worse, Dragon Slayer Luke was running towards the fight from the bot lane, so Ravander gets left alone in the 2v1. So, you know, unable to capitalize on all that pressure forced on the top side there. A really good fight there. We're seeing the strength of the Kickin there. That ult just locked down Waffles, unable to go assist Kev on this Vigar as Devil and Woofy just chase him down relentlessly, which has kind of been the theme of this game so far.
Yeah.
Devil and Woofy on the Viego Yone, two champions that just have so much sticking power and are so difficult to stop once they get ahead, have really just made Kev's life really miserable.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing when you pick a champion like Vigar, right? Is that the battle plans for the enemy, they don't have to think about it. It's right away. Oh, right. Good look from Dragon Slayer. And I just think the fight lines were a little bit out of sorts for Kickin Squids here. But speaking of fight lines, we're going to have another one, and these are correct front to back. Here we go. That's not also being dropped. Dragon Slayer Luke taken out of the fight. That's going to be Devil taken down as well. We're 4-4 right now, but look at this Kickin flank. That's massive onto 3 members and absolutely melting the back line. Galson will not be opposed as Rat House tries to get Sammy, but in turn is taken down.
Wow, a really good flank there on the Kickin. That was a big-time play. Fight started off anyone's game. Dragon Slayer Luke dropped very quickly there. Missed a Q, I believe, and got pulled towards the wall. And that just kind of really put him out of position, separated too far away from his carries, and he dropped down early. And then once Viego is able to take that first reset, right, with his ult, it's a very scary fight. And once the cannon flank came through, it was just GG on the fight. Really good timing and a really good team fight from the side of NGO, just able to really put the screws in and push them ahead. Now with a 6K gold lead, the game is now solidly in their control.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something fierce. I will just put out there, I don't know what the gold lead was in game 2 of the game last night, but Kickin Squids was down like, it had to have been like 7K. I don't know if anyone knows.
For sure.
It was a wild comeback.
And they have the tools, right? They have the CC,
right.
They have
They've
scaling,
got the Vigar
right?
and the Jinx, right? Like
exactly. They've got the scaling 100%. I'm saying the game is firmly in the hands of NGO, right?
Absolutely.
It's their game to lose at this point.
Yes. Yes.
So, but 100%, you give a team like Kickin Squids an inch, they're going to take a mile. And with the comp that they have, that mile is going to go the extra mile.
Oh, yeah. And the back and forth here, Rathouse playing with the bushes. You kind of see equivalent damage being dealt, right? But you know that if Urgot's able to get on top of that, although I will say, God, hats off to Galson, 4-0-1 on this Kennen. We talked about how they were in a rough spot just purely through the pick and what they were going to be playing against, and they survived the ganks. They came in, they did the star-studded play of flanking and catching the whole back line. Like, Galson knows what's up.
That's the Kennen dream, right? When you pick that champ, that's what you dream of. You dream of the big flank, after they've burnt all their cooldowns and they're able to just run into the backline with that ultimate and just do massive amounts of damage. So again, hats off. He weathered the storm, and now he is looking to really have the ability to take over this game. So on the side of the Kickin Squids, what they're really going to have to focus on with these objective setups is marking those flanks, keeping an eye on the angles that the Kennen can approach from, keeping an eye for TP wards, right? So the setup for these objectives is going to be critical if the Kickin Squids are going to want to try and win any of these fights moving forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a comp saying Galson has played 3 lanes over the last 3 LBLCS seasons. I mean, dude, that's your kind of energy.
My kind of energy, man. I respect the hell out of that as a fellow flex player myself, a Phil boy, true for true. I can respect
Waffles potentially getting picked right here, and they have the damage. They're able to slam it down. Rathouse has a little bit of tower health to play with, but we're going to need to see something incredible for him to survive
Dragon Slayer
this.
Luke on his way.
Absolutely. Woofy's going to go in. There's some CC. They're certainly trying to lock it down. There's a flash to the other side of the tower, but hold on. Oh, my goodness. Now, how does that interaction work? Does he die if he's...
No, Terra Cult negates it.
Oh, that's incredible. Sammy two-slap again with the save.
Yeah, really big there. Waffles electing for the... goes for the ult.
Devil, flashing onto Ravander. Ravander, though, knows where they're going to go. Actually going to flash back, and a great flash over the wall. They've ghosted. They've got some speed. You just need to keep running north, Ravander. Getting over to Kev has allergies. Okay. Cage being thrown down, but now that's an important tool that's gone. Got to be careful playing in this choke point. Woofy, going right onto Waffles once again. A forced flash out of the way. That's a W going down, and the kick goes down to the rocket, and there's the shutdown. Oh my goodness.
Really good kick there. I was going to say, Waffles, electing for the Eclipse build is very squishy and one-shottable, but a big kick there lets them get a kill into Woofy, who might have dove a little too deep there. As Sammy two-slap forced to flash away from a really good cage. From Kevin
Oh, shoot. Rathouse going right in, right? Maybe a little further, but I'm not going to lie. I think he should have gone forward in that.
Yeah. Forces the exhaust out of Sammy two-slap, a big cooldown there for in a pending team fight. We're seeing it, right? We're seeing the tools that Kickin Squids has in their arsenal to keep this game close, right? You overstep just a bit, right? And there's so much CC from the Nautilus, from the Vigar, from the Lee Sin and the Urgot. So much way to force a pick. So, you know, although the lead still solidly in the hands of NGO.
Oh, here we go. Here's a potential pick. Sammy Two Slap is going to be the target of it. He is going to be brought low, but not dead just yet. How is he still alive? Sammy does go down in the end, and now we cut to the fight. Gavaz Allergy's trying to kite backwards, but that's going to be the Jinx taking out. Rat House is next, and it's just the... Oh, my God. Absolutely. Dragon Slayer Luke on the run does just decide to go back in, and all that's left is the Vigar, and they turn onto the Dragon once more. A masterful fight from NGO.
Really well played there from NGO. Looks like the Kickin Squids have finally found their fight. Get an early pick on Sammy Two Slap. Revander able to free fire, gets a ton of damage down, gets the kills onto Sammy Two Slap, onto Devil, and then it all looks good. But then the Viego comes in, and once that Viego is able to get onto the Jinx, one taps her with that Kraken. With that Shattered Sky, just absolutely destroys her, gets the reset, and the fight is over from there. So it's gonna be tough for Kickin Squids here, right? They've got to mark so many carries on the flanks, right? You have the Viego, you have the Kennen, you have the Yone, which is so difficult, and the Ezreal laying down the DPS, very hard to pin down. So it's a lot of moving parts that, although they have a very easy to execute and simple team fight, if they blow their load on a cage or that misplaced, then the fight really just starts to break down from there.
Absolutely. And West Algier, I totally hear you. 1/3 of the one caster is lower than the other. Did I fix it? And can anyone let me know if a Spooky Man is louder? Because if he is, I've learned something about producing. And if it's not, my knowledge is exactly the same. A Baron play coming into fruition right now. Doesn't look like there's going to be any contest to this.
No, I really don't think they're going to have the capability to contest this, right? There's just so much zone control. They have no vision set up even in their own jungle leading up to it. Just littered with wards. They're not going to really be able to contest. So a good, solid Dragon pickup, really good decision making there from NGO.
Oh, wow. Here we go. Devil going on in and just everything being poured onto the Nautilus. But the fight is not done there as Rat House is the next target. Galson diving under tower. And they are just going to push on in to this turret. Massive play.
Really big play. Just slapping them their wallets at this point, right? They've got such a big gold lead, 9K gold with the Baron empowered wave. They're just going to be able to march this in. Just a really, really smart positioning. And just taking advantage of what they were given.
Yeah.
Just march it in here, taking a quick inhib, and gonna get out. Really clean, really clean from the side of NGO, and from the side of the Kickin Squids here. The silver lining, right, of all of the inhibitors to give, mid inhibitor is easily the best one to give, right? Because it can't be leveraged into an objective as easily as a side lane, right? If they get the bot lane inhibitor, a Baron's take is much easier. If they get the top lane inhibitor, a Dragon take is much easier. Mid lane inhibitor, though, that's just going to be a lot of farm funneled into this Jinx, who already is 20 farm up, in this matchup, and is at the 2-item mark. Finish the call, is looking to scale even further. So there's still time for them to right the ship. The Vigar scaling up, the Jinx scaling up, and as I said, waves are just going to keep pouring into that mid wave. So if they can just catch that farm, not stem the bleeding at least a bit, weather out this Baron, and not lose too many more any more objectives, in particular if they can keep the other two inhibitors, I think they really could have a chance to win this game, right? It's still a possibility. But on the side of NGO, they do have 3 completed dragons, another dragon on the horizon. So right here on the soul point, Waffle's trying to make a play here.
Yes, indeed. Devil
forces the flash.
All right.
Forces the flash at Devil. That's a big cooldown. That's a really big cooldown to get. Yone, melee champ, having that flash really allows the Yone to kind of punish a lot of the positioning errors of the squishy carries. So not having that cooldown, a long cooldown, I think is going to be a really big thing to note in the fights to come, to see how that impacts,
100%. I think I've produced my way out of this problem, which is pretty surprising. Sorry, Devil starting to fight right here, but Rathouse not shying away from it. Hold on, there's gonna be the ult from the... Oh, Rathouse lives through it. Went solo. That was such a massive burst of damage there. I really thought he was going down.
I did too. Honestly, I think Devil thought he had the kill there, right? He snapped back with that E thinking that the pop was going to kill him. Just did not do quite as much damage as he thought it would. He is probably going to get this turret, or at least a lot of damage down onto it. But yeah, a bit of the misexecution there from Devil, thinking that he had it. You know, that would have been a really big kill to get. But while they're chasing down Devil on that top side, they are going to give up the soul to the side of NGO. Just really going to be really tough because they...
Devil's just going to go for the fight. He is going to get taken down, and they feed that to the correct player. That goes to the Vygar's pocket. That's who you want to keep scaling.
For sure, a great, you know, you got to trade something, right? If you're giving up the soul, you got to at least get something. A little bit of gold in the carry, you know, could go a long way. But on the side of NGO, they've got a lot of champions that really like the stats that you get from a Chemtech soul, right? The Yone, the Viego, both champions that like function so well at low health. So I think it's obviously not an ideal trade, but you know, from the side of Kickin Squids, you got to take what you're given, right? And so
yes,
definitely. I see Papoa though doing a little bit of a call out on you right there.
Listen. I'm just trying, you know, yeah, I got a pentakill on Vygar, and yeah, I'm really proud about it. So, you know, it is what it is.
A known pentakiller.
Yeah, finally. It's like the third one I've ever gotten in the entire time I've been playing League, so.
And you did it when it mattered most, when the world needed it most.
Listen, I'm glowing. I'm glowing right now. Talk to me about this soul. I don't actually know what it does. Do you?
Yeah, so it gives you a bunch of stats when you're low health, basically. And so for the a little bit of but you know, the Lee Sin able to just kind of dash out there. And so, you know, for a lot of comps, it is the worst soul you can get. It's the weakest of the souls. But with champions like the Viego, like the Yone, it's actually a really powerful soul in their hands. So,
sure.
A little bit of skirmish here in the top lane. Probably not going to get much done. You know, that Kennen, you know, it was a close matchup before, but that Kennen now with 3.5 completed items, that 8-0, the 700 gold shutdown.
Oh, wait, there's the flash onto it. Rathouse really wants to make this work. Galson drops the ult, actually thinks about killing Urgot. Peels away. All right, what do you think about the flash for the Kennen ult?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't. You got to start trading.
Oh God, I hate this fucking thing that happens. Sorry, folks. Okay, we're back. Devil gets taken down, but his life is traded for a tower. Kev has allergies, walking up, flashing forward. Holy shit! There's Sammy Two Slap just gone, deleted by the R button right there from Kev has allergies, and the turn up top. Galson getting the kill. Oh, Dragon House Luke is going to land the hook, but Jinx stunned on the back line. Uwufi. This is all about, can they take down the Viego? This fight is actually going to take quite some time, but look at that cage right there. Hold on, Uwufi goes down. Ravander continuing this fight. They actually get the kill. They get their shut down. What is happening right now?
Ooh, a little overstep there from NGO. They think they're going to a little bit of autopilot there. Definitely looks like they thought that the game was over, right? Devil walks up to that bot lane turret, you know, gets a little cocky and gets taken down, and then they transition that right to mid lane. You know, yes, they get the inhibitor, they get the bot lane turret. Galson gets the solo kill onto Rathouse and takes the turret, but a lot of big shutdowns there go over to Ravander as he takes on the Viego and he takes down the Ezreal. Really well played to take advantage of that, as now they start this Baron.
They are, but they don't have Rathouse. They're a little bit split. Now Ravander's in the front line, and that's a flash up there from the Kennen. That's a massive find. Ravander going quite low. The Teracle keeping them invincible and immortal. Rathouse now here. The team survives. How on earth did that happen? I don't know that the fight is done just yet. Ezreal ult from downtown gets 2 targets hiding in a bush. Oh my goodness, and Dragon Slayer Luke, wait a second, actually able to stop that teleport. Probably will die for it in the end. Devil? Oh. Hold on! Rat House gets the kill! Kev has allergy, saves the base! Chaos!
Chaos ensues. A big-time Ezreal ult there for the double kill. But the big MVP of that fight, Galson, with that ult, puts them all within a spitting's distance of death.
Kev has allergies. That's just him taken off of the map. Woofy
and that's probably going to be the game. That's probably going to be the game here. With the members they have up, Rethus tries to go in, but Galson, that ult is up again. Big time performance as NGO, a convincing win in game 1.
Yeah, 100%. We've got a great series in front of us. Lil Dear Lilia hitting the nail on the head. So much life from Kickin Squids. Even now, they just don't stop fighting. And they won that fight right before Baron, right? Like, they certainly had power. They certainly had scaling on their side.
Yeah, big props to Kickin Squids. They did not fold, right? They hung in there. So a really impressive showing on their part. Really impressive. Looking at the late game damage numbers, it's about what you would expect. I'm gonna be honest here. Galson on this Kennen just put in insane work. MVP of the game, without a doubt. 10-0-7, most damage in the game by a long shot. Basically single-handedly won 2 critical fights that allowed them to just shoot out ahead of the game. And they never went, a couple small missteps here and there to get the Kickin Squids signs of life. But ultimately, once they got their lead, right, and they won that big fight around the dragon, where Galson ended up being 4-0 at the end of that fight, hits the massive multi-man ultimate. They never really let up on the pressure, right? They kept their foot to the gas. They forced good fights, and ultimately executed very effectively in a 32-minute game. They closed that out very cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. And 32-minute, right, we were on the precipice of the scaling starting to tip over. If this is a 40-minute game, I don't know what the outcome is, right? Like,
yeah, well, exactly, because what would have had to have happened for the game to go 8 more minutes on means that more shutdowns would have had to gone over to the Kickin Squids. They would have had time to farm it out in their base. Let them catch up, not only in items but in levels. Across the board, almost their whole team was down in levels, so would have given them time for that. But I think if we're looking ahead to game 2, right? If I'm Kickin Squids right now, first off, I think the Kennen ban has to come through, right? That was not an easy lane setup for the Kennen, right? We were talking about it in the draft. People were calling out in chat, like, that was, Kennen was not supposed to have an easy time. And he didn't have an easy time, but he weathered the storm, didn't die a single time, and ended up being so impactful in these team fights. Because ultimately, again, we're not pros here, right? At the low budget LCS.
Right.
And so champion mastery, your understanding of how your champion works at this level, carries so much weight, not so much in the laning phase, right? You can fall behind in lane and, that could just be a bad matchup. Sometimes there's very little you can do. You can get ganked, but late game team fights, when you're not thinking, right? You're in flow state. You're trying to function with as little thought as possible so that you can focus on important things, target selection, flank angles, keeping an eye on cooldowns and whatnot, right? So the more mastery you have on a champion, the more it shows. And Galson showed in those team fights, he was so zen in the way he performed, right? He did not have to focus on pressing the right buttons at the right time. He knew what he needed to do. And I think that, that goes a long way. So I think Kickin Squids, you take that off the table, right? You're gonna have to give something else up, but I think you owe the respect, right, to ban that away. And as for their own picks, I think picking something that gives you an early lane to play around, either in mid lane and bot lane, right? I think going the double scaling route, I think put them in a bad way. Yes, in theory, if you can ride it out with the 2 scaling picks, you're going to have a really good time. But I think that what we've already seen from Team NGO, is that if you give them an easy Pickens lane, they're coming to pick, right? And Devil in particular, big props to him. Devil and Awufi just really put the screws in to Kev had allergies, right? I mean, really delayed his ability to hit his item spikes so aggressively by just relentlessly getting him over and over again in that mid lane. And so I think you either pick something that can tussle and kind of contest them on that mid 2v2, or you save your mid pick till later in the draft so that you can set yourself up for success a bit, because that was a real sore spot for them, right? The map kind of caved in on itself because of how ahead mid lane was. For sure. Right? I mean, you think about how many 4-man dives they pulled in the bot lane once their mid lane got ahead. They were able to transition that pressure to other parts of the map. They were able to stack dragons very effectively because of the mid pressure they had. So I think that's what I'm looking for Kickin Squids. Give me something you can tussle with, right? You got me the Lee Sin, which I love to see, but match it up with a mid laner that can scrap.
You want to wrestle.
I want to wrestle, exactly. Listen, if they're gonna wrestle, you got to wrestle back, or you got to find a way to neutralize it. And they really did not find the neutralization here.
True. Hello, Vega. Redeeming, of course, it's pronounced like the chance. And that's, listen, you break down the fundamentals of my name, it's just the chance. Also, what do we got here? Very frightening, saying you're also going to have to play towards your scaling picks, play fights around them, path towards them as jungle and mid. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spooky, you just gave us a thesis level breakdown on what Kickin Squids need to do coming into game 2, and we are going to see if they can follow through. Sort of a lot of rhyming words there in this draft, which we are here, and they're coming out flying, and there is the cannon, just like you said, it's gone.
Yeah, you can't give it up. I think it's a smart ban away. And Kickin Squids ban the Viger themselves, right? Indicating they're going to switch it up here. They're going to first pick a different champ. They're not going to, but they also don't want to give away such a powerful pick. I don't need to tell you about how powerful Viger is. I don't need to tell the Viger main himself, LeChance, how powerful Viger is. Early picks, the Swain.
They grabbed it. They grabbed the goodness.
You love to see it because, that is a flex. Mid bot, that's a fantastic flex. Gives them the capability to either have a dominant bot lane, also a really strong mid laner into a lot of the champions that Devil is looking to play here. It's a really good pick into the own. Any champs that want to get in there and tussle post 6, the Swain loves it. Goes, gimme, get on in here, and I'm a drain you. So love the Swain pickup. On the side of Omens of NGO, picking the Ezreal again. That lane went very well for them. They felt really confident on it.
I know who's playing that Gragas.
Who's playing it?
I think it's Awufi. Right, folks? Chat, tell me I'm right. Doesn't Awufi have a legendary Gragas? Maybe I'm fucking crazy, but I'm pretty sure. I think maybe Vega and I cast a game where he was playing Gragas and it was nutty.
That sounds right. I love the Gragas in the jungle. I think it's a really strong pick. The Amumu for Kickin Squids. The Amumu Swain indicates to me that they're looking to tussle. Post 6, they are looking to team fight around these objectives. Swain Amumu, such a strong combo because the Amumu, when he lands a multi-man ult, applies his passive to all of them. The Swain able to just deal so much true damage. Really potent combo. And they take the Jinx again. They felt that the Jinx was not the problem, but handing over the Taric to NGO, we saw that pick do a lot of work in that first game. As we said, Sammy really strong on that pick. Really feels good on that pick. So, I like the confidence of Kickin Squids to be like, no, that bot lane wasn't a problem. Ravander, aka Rad, felt really good on that Jinx pick. So I like that. You like the confidence to do a little salty run back there. But But the second round of bans here, targeting champions from the last game, the Nautilus taken away from Kickin Squids, right? A really strong engage tool, taking that away. The Viego paying the respect over, so they don't think that Gragas is going jungle, or they're hedging their bets, right? So like that pick away. The Braum, another support ban, and then the Yone. So basically just banning out the picks from NGO last game, which I think makes total sense. You know, as we said, mid lane was a real pain point for them. So banning away both the jungler and the mid laner, I think just a clean slate, right?
100%.
Sometimes mentally that's what you need, right? You just need a clean slate. You just need to just like, I don't want to see either of those champions. I want to feel like this game is completely divorced from that first game. And you know, if that's what you need, that's what you get.
Right.
As they pick away the Lissandra here, you know, a strong mid lane pick for Devil. Now, I do worry seeing this Lissandra. The Gragas Lissandra, a double AP mid jungle, is a little tough, I think. They have a lot of AP damage here, and I worry that it's going to be very easy to itemize for this Amumu, for this Swain. The Diana picked away here. Very interesting. That indicates to me that this Amumu is probably going support, and the Diana is going in the jungle, which if so, I mean, that's just the amount of team fight from the Kickin Squids with the Amumu, Diana, Swain is just, that's so much power. But again, very heavy AP. So definitely looking to pick an AD pick here to kind of balance it out. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh. And he said,
wow.
Look to the hills on the seventh day. I shall arrive.
If by the seventh day you mean level 18, then yeah.
That is exactly what I meant.
Wow. The power Kale pick, blind Kale pick, just an absolute wild last pick here for Rat House. The Gnar is the answer, which I like. I like the Gnar pick there. A strong laner, going to be very good into this Kale, while also providing the AD damage that their comp sorely needs. Wow. Really, I'm just flabbergasted from this Kale pick. That's just so...
I love it.
So baller.
I love it. Sometimes the answer is the simplest. It's the Occam's razor of picks. Oh, we gotta open up the casino, but first we can't open up the casino without saying thank you to the people who've helped build it brick by brick. Mule Life gifting 3 subs to It's Cram Talk, Loriander, and J-Rod OG, the original J-Rod. Right here, you've got your tier 1 sub. I love It's Cram Talk.
That's a great name.
It's is lowercase, and then Cram Talk is all caps.
It naturally puts emphasis.
It does.
I like that a lot.
It does. It sounds like someone kicking down the door. All right, casino's open. Go do it, little robot man. Fucking good to see you again.
Lot of chat here. Pickle Hater, NGO clear this one 2-0 in draft alone. Lachlan Live agrees. I think Kale Diana is such a weak top jungle. NGO wants scrappy fights. They'll kick ass there. Honestly, and it pains me to say this, I 100% agree. I think the combo of Diana Kale is such a weak combo. And Tarek, super good into their entire team comp. Yes, I agree with Zelius. Red House Kale does not mess around. If Kale gets ahead, of course, it's going to just steamroll over this whole game. But even that being said, right, the Lissandra R, right, the Gnar combo, like the ability to just like one tap this Kale is really high. I think it's going to take a lot of execution. It's so funny how the roles are reversed here, right? The execution required now from the side of Kickin Squids, right? Yes, they have like the Mumu Diana combo, but just like the squishy carries of the Jinx Kale, like we'll be interested to see how they're able to pilot this. But yeah, wow, this is gonna be a fun one.
But Spooky, dream with me for a moment.
Oh, dude, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Man.
Dream.
Both of our jaws collectively hit the floor when that Kale got locked in. Listen, I'm with you.
In the 45th minute, when Rathouse's whole body has been covered with sweat, his jaw is tense as he has been fighting the keys, practically smashed, pulverized, withered, and destroyed by his powerful fingers over the course of nearly an hour as he rises to level 18. That is my dream. That is the rift that I want to live in, where a super Hail Mary Kale can truly come in and just cause so much chaos.
Oh, 100%. And, as we said, at this level, right, if you have champion mastery, that negates most other things, right? If this Kale gets ahead and starts to snowball out of control, we've all been in there in a solo queue game.
For sure.
Where a Kale is into a matchup where you're like, how the hell did you lose that? And the Kale just runs away with the game. We've all seen it. We've all been there. We've all seen it. But I have to agree with what's being said here in the chat.
Yeah.
Richard Arlison 3, Merc Tread's value here.
It's Richard Arlison! Sorry, carry on.
The Richard Arlison.
Streetside Reporter.
Exactly. Merc Tread's value here is crazy. Insane value. Absolutely insane value. One Merc Treads on Gragas, and Swain Diana Kale is just going to do 0 damage to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's really going to come down to NGO. We saw them able to snowball their lead in game 1, right? That one big team fight, they got ahead and they just did not take their foot off the gas. They have the tools to do a very similar game plan here.
Mm-hmm.
Win an early team fight and really don't give don't give Kickin Squids a chance to get into this game. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be fun to see if the Kickin Squids are able to make us look like fools, make all of you in the chat look like fools, make us look like fools, right?
Not me. I'm fully in. My vote's been cast. My vote's,
I love it.
And sure, would a super sick climactic game 3 be awesome? 100%. And I do also see what you're saying. These words and thoughts have value, and there's a lot of weight behind them.
Listen, you can talk with your head all you want, but it's when you start believing with your heart. That's when it matters, right? And
that's what keeps me alive.
And the Kickin Squids have won your heart, even if they haven't won your brain, right?
That's true. That is true. The Amumu support coming in hot.
The Amumu support is honestly of all the things we've called out.
Right, yeah.
Is of all things you called out is probably the hardest thing to pull off.
Yes.
Because you're into a Tarek, Ezreal, Lissandra, and Gragas, all unbelievably good disengage champions. And Amumu, it does many things well. And by that I mean he does one thing really well. And that's go in and start a fight. So if you can go in and start a good fight, hell yes. Then the world is your oyster. And Richard Arlison says he believes, and I'm right there with you. I believe. Let me phrase that. I want to believe.
Right.
I want to believe.
And listen, if Streetside Reporter Richard Arlson, has that opinion, that buoys mine as well. It's just such a good name. It's just a first and last, very normal. I love it. He's gonna. Okay, so Richard, great point as always. I do think that the most. Oh God, I'm gonna sneeze partway through this. Okay, the most important. The most important thing that Amumu can do, right? The most dangerous bandage toss is the tossed, not thrown. It's the threat of it. It's the expectation. And by juggling those expectations of your role, I do think there's an incredible game of 4D chess to be played. Here, RK Waterski subbing with Prime with the message, nothing like ads to remind me to renew. Ain't that the truth? Fuck ads. Fuck
the
'em.
ads are working.
The ads, yes, the ads are working. God, there's this Hertz advertisement that's going around right now that all it's done is, if I have a choice, I will not rent with Hertz. It is there.
That bad.
It's that bad. It's on every single YouTube ad, and like they're unskippable and full ass. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I don't like it. And yeah, whatever the like. That the graph of like advertising too much, like if like 5 times in a month would be the optimal time, they've hit me 150 times, and it's just yeah,
it's crazy that they spent their entire ad budget
on me, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
I didn't think that would be the case either, but they did, and here we are. Hot damn, Vader Use Choke coming in with some subs again. Congratulations to the lucky handful. Kadalt, Rushi, Sushi Monster. Kev has allergies. Fucking in the game right now. And last but not least, the Phenom. Christmas indeed did come early.
Did you do me a big old favor?
Oh yeah, did it do the thing?
Good buddy.
Never
good old buddy.
underestimate the power of the scout
Christmas game early. Let's get this.
Got truly not to be outdone. A comp coming in. Hold on 1 second. Let me stream these. Then we'll read off those names. Hold on. This is incredible. Incredible, unparalleled generosity from this community. Who got him? Who got? Oh, Jeezy Pete's, folks. Hold on a second. Raspy Jasper. It's Chris. Rap Jr. A-Quing. Dutch Krampus. And then Vader Use Choke punching back. Oh god, the music is still going. Hold on. This is wild. Wait a second. Do we have a really early fight? Galson backing up Dragon Slayer Luke. Can he land the bandage toss? Will we get the flash? Forcing the flash from Galson over the wall.
That's big.
That's
a very big cooldown.
Truly big. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Look at this fight. Uh-oh. We gotta go manual with the camera. 1 second. Okay, we're all good.
Never underestimate
my steady hand.
Power
Not steady at all. Okay, hold on. Vader with the punchback. Systematical. West Alger, the person who let us know about the sound stuff. Thank you, West, as always. Frat Douche.
Never
Friendly Easy. Scythia Maros. Is that Scythia, the old, like, country? I recognize that from Total War.
Or from Civ 6. Yep.
Or from Civ 6. My god. The audio cue just keeps it. This is beautiful. Thank you all for your unparalleled generosity. And if you are just tuning in to the low budget LCS, welcome as we get into game 2 of this best of 3 as Nefarious Gaming Omens takes on the Kickin Squids.
Yeah, we're hoping that we can get go to a game 3 here. Kickin Squids, although they put up a valiant fight in game 1, NGO able to snowball an early lead off of a big team fight win, and just able to win it in about 32 minutes. But here in game 2, both teams taking a very different approach to the draft, with the Kickin Squids opting for a very different look in this comp with the Kale top and the Swain mid, 2 very different solo lane picks for them. And on the side of NGO, kept the same bot lane, but switching it up, going for the Gnar in the top lane, Uwufi on his signature Gragas, and Devil, who played the Yone in game 1 and had a fantastic performance, switching up and going for a very different look, a more supportive, engaged champ here with the Lissandra. So going to be interested to see how both teams pilot these new picks. And in particular, a little bit of fighting going on in the mid lane as is going to happen. in particular, to see if the sides of Kickin Squids can take advantage of the level 1 advantage that they gained for themselves, getting the flash off of Galson.
Tasty little flash, got in the top lane.
Galson, the big MVP of game 1 on the Kennen pick, absolutely took the game over, single-handedly winning 2 team fights that kind of catapulted them.
Hasn't died yet this series.
Yeah, exactly. And so interested to see if they can take advantage of that lack of flash and put down the MVP of game 1, which is something they're going to need to do, because otherwise this Kale is going to really start to struggle as we move into the mid-tier of this game.
And I gotta say, we saw, Devil, nice escape there. We saw them put all the power into the Vygar last game. Now Rat House says, hey, put me on the hyperscaler that they'll put all their effort into. I'm happy to take that attention and aggression. Devil getting poked out here. Real quick though, want to thank our 2 newest investors, Big Daddy Woo Woo. Thank you.
Woo,
that's
woo.
A name. Woo Woo. Here we go. Rat House in a little bit of trouble right here. This fight goes out to Big Daddy Woo Woo. There's the flash away. Rat House trying to make it back to the tower. One more auto from the Gnar could do it. And that's it. The first blood picked up in the top lane. Right as rain, just like in the movies, they did exactly what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, as we said, that's going to be a really tough time for this Kale, especially, pre-6 when it is just a melee champion. Burns the flash, but Galson able to get the kill. A very clean dive. Woofy doesn't even have to burn the flash of his own, so nothing really burnt on the side of NGO. Just a clean kill on the side of NGO. Very happy that they were able to get that to set the scale back. Kale forced a TP in, but on the side of Kickin Squids, hoping that they can take advantage of these other strong lanes they have, right? Very strong bot lane 2v2, a very strong mid lane pick in these early levels with the Swain. But Uwufi, not content with just getting the kill in the top lane now, prowling around in this bot side, hoping to spread the love around the map a bit.
Now, I want to say 3 things, and the first of which is to thank our other newest investor, which is Valve Index. Thank you, Valve Index, for following us. I know that when we were thanking Big Daddy Woo Woo, a big fight broke out. It was very exciting. But don't think, because there's no fight right now, that you are not just as, if not more valued than the Woo Woo themselves.
I want you to know that although there's no fight on stream right now, I have just opened up the pit to the Rancor.
Hold on a second. Speaking of fights, we've got one right here going out to Valve Index. That's going to be Kev has allergies flashing away. Devil going towards it. Will this ult pop from Swain? Hold on. Oh, doesn't connect with Devil. Goes down, but is not out. The man makes it out alive.
Oh, a little bit of a miscommunication there appears from Uwufi and Devil. Devil goes back in. Oh, another fight breaking out here. Waffles probably gonna have to flash out.
Makes that flash over the wall. I don't know if he gets out. Gnar's pretty good at chasing. Look at this. Oh, Devil though, not able to land the CC. Kev has allergies, backs up just far enough away and all over them. Oh, look at that. Follows the Ezreal jump right there. Those are traps being let out. Sammy's gonna get caught on top of them. But Dragon Slayer Luke goes in and does make it out.
Goes in, does make it out, but again, we're already, even that little trade there, we see how difficult it is for the Amumu, right? Bandage tosses in, Sammy 2-slap, heals up, applies the stun, and gets them out, honestly, with more health than they started at the beginning of that trade.
Galson knows what's up. There's the slam. Very good.
That hurt.
Wow. Really, really good pacing on the abilities there from Galson, weaving in the W's, the autos, and the Q's. There's an enormous amount of CC that you can output with Gnar, and just getting in everything you can in between is a key part of the champion.
Yeah, for sure. And, got to abuse the matchup while you can, right? Taking advantage of how immobile Rat House is on this Kale pick. Especially Flash still down, right?
Eyes on Dragon. Look at this. Yep. Waffles. They're going to go for it. Devil trapping them in the pit. Sammy 2-slap, and Weiss walking up, but Waffle's actually just gonna dive right in there, and that's gonna be the Amuba going quite low right here. Kev has allergies, finding himself holding the choke point a little bit, but I think Waffles is in a little bit of trouble. That's gonna be the Swain. He's gonna find himself in a 1v4, but no, it's not. Ravander here drops the heal. That's Sammy 2-slap, dropping right there, and now Devil on the run as Kev has allergies, is chasing him down. He gets a double kill. Hold on, will this be a triple? Kevin on the Swain comes up. Oh my God. Not able to get the Ezreal, but almost a big triple there, but a massive double. Kevin absolutely reversing his fortunes from when he was on that Vygar.
A big old double Kevin for Kev has allergies. A massive kill. That was a fantastic fight from him. Kind of the dream. You know, NGO get the kill early on. Unfortunately, Waffles goes in, only gets one with the ult. Dragon Slayer Luke not yet 6, and so you know he gets stuck in the middle of the enemy team with nowhere to go. All dressed up, nowhere to go on Church Sunday. But
love it. Loved where you were going with that. That was great.
Yeah, take it somewhere. But overdive, right? They get the 2 kills and they think that they can just keep going, pushing the fight, but all of their big cooldowns are down, and they go into the Swain, who has ult up, who has all of his cooldowns up, is full health, and the Swain, you know, with all these champions who have all these this burst, when they don't have cooldowns up, they have no way of dealing with the Swain, who's just able to walk at them, hits all of his abilities, and picks up a big double for them. And most importantly, prevents the dragon from going down, right? If you think in a different world, they play a bit more patiently, they get those 2 kills, and they turn back and they get that dragon, they'd be much happier with how this whole fight.
Oh, Ravander in some trouble right here. Eyes on a Woofy and Devil, as this is a textbook collapse from NGO. Ravander does not have flash. Look at that separated, enormous ult from Woofy, and there's the skill that we talked about on this Gragas that was perfectly placed.
Yeah, critical there. Dragon Slayer Luke was not 6. If he was 6 with the ult, they might have been able to buy enough time for Waffles to come in with ult as well. But unfortunately, without the ult there, doesn't have the peel tools necessary to keep his ADC alive. And so, yeah, a big pick there, a fantastically placed ult from Uwufi to knock the Jinx back into his own team. A big old bomba. And gonna be very happy with that.
Okay.
So close. So close. So close.
Ravander's onto something.
Yep. That was a butt puckering ult right there. That was really, really well timed. Almost gets the steal. But almost only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades. NGO takes the dragon. Gonna be very happy with that. Chillin' with a 1K gold lead and the first Drake.
Oh. Kev is doing some work on this Swain.
Yeah, the Swain in these early, in this early to mid game is going to be an absolute nightmare for the Gragas Lissandra to deal with, right? Especially all burst and AP.
Oh, they're just going to turn on to him, though. This is the right way to deal with something like this. Throw everything onto it, but you got to be able to burst him down, and Devil's the one who's going to be going down quite low, but actually makes it as Sammy saves their lives, and Waffles is taken out. Rat House shows up, but has to run away, and that is the right decision, as that is a mean-looking NGO squad peeling into the pit, and they're going to grab themselves some grubs.
Sammy 2-slapped, times the ult perfectly, completely negates the ult from the Diana. Not a single tick of damage was dealt from that ult because of the Taric ult, and that's what we called out in draft, right? This Taric, a fantastic pick into the likes of an engaged comp like that we see on the Kickin Squid side. Completely negates the Diana, completely negates the Amumu as a TP now coming through.
Devil's got the angle right here, and he's going to find himself sandwiching both Luke and Ravander. He's going to choose Ravander as the target. Everything goes in onto him, and even with the ult from the Amumu, it's not enough, and they can patiently chase down this little mummy and just get a clean 2-0.
A fantastic TP angle there from Devil. Really, really good job there. I like what I saw from the side of Kickin Squids, though. Made the decisive engage onto the Ezreal. Unfortunately, not enough damage to take him down before Devil shows up and gets the big double. Fantastic. Levels out that mid lane difference that we saw going on there. Is now Kev, no mana, you'll note, so does not have the ability. Devil going to chase him down here. And not a whole lot Kev can do. Gonna force him to back. Really good.
Just coming up on Devil too. Oh wait, maybe he's gone too far. Hold on a second. 2 turret shots. Wow. Wow. Spooky, I'm going to hand the reins of the stream over to you for 1 second. I'll be right back.
He doesn't know what he's done, giving me full. Oh, the flash in from Waffles. Takes him down. A really decisive engage there. Rathouse now forced to flash away on the top side as Galson pressures him a bit in that top lane. Probably Rathouse going to have to back here as the Kale really struggling there in the 1v1. As things are going from bad to worse now for the side of Kickin Squids. The lanes that we thought were going to be hard, twist ending, they're hard. They're very hard. But on top of that, this bot lane, falling pretty far behind now. That damage coming through from the Ezreal. The Essence Reaver completed for the Ezreal now is just like ripping away Ravander's health bar there. That bot lane matchup really exacerbated by the fantastic TP there from Devil to kind of force it home. And now we kind of take stock at what we're looking at here and what kind of is available as a Woofy now, though. Kind of prowling around in this mid lane. Both mid laners exchanging spells. A Woofy makes a move in there, but nothing comes of it, as I can tell by the fact that the direct camera didn't choose to show it. So
another friend.
I'm oh, sorry. I thought you had noticed that I was back because I was moving the displays there.
No.
I genuinely was like, "There's a fight coming." Is Spooky also can play by play. I just can't color cast. That's the real.
But no one's here to hear me. When you're racing the Kentucky Derby, you don't leave your
Hold
prize
on 1
stallion
second.
in
We
the
got a
stable.
teleport coming in big, and look at this collapse right here. Ravander still alive, and a good flash from a Woofy takes them down. But Kevin has allergies, teleporting, and he wants to cause some trouble. But a little bit split right here. Hold on, Dragon Slayer Luke. We will not get the kill on the back end, unfortunately. And look at that. An absolute ballet of destruction as NGO walks away with slivers of health, but in the end, a sliver is all you need.
We got once again Sammy 2-slap. They handed it over to him 2 games in a row. The Tarek pick comes up huge. A really big 3-man ult from Dragon Slayer Luke. Looked like they might be able to turn around the dive, but not with a Tarek ult already down. They don't take any damage. They get out of that dive clean. Not a single body hits the floor, and everyone drops on the side of
Waffles
Squids.
really wants this. Hold on. Woofy in a lot of trouble. What? Okay, I don't know how Waffles is going to get out of this one, but that was a pretty fantastic play right there.
Yeah, Waffles, we've seen him get stuffed now on quite a few engages, so it's easy to think that he's, kind of out of this game. But you look at that farm differential, up 40 farm.
Oh my God.
On Woofy.
Didn't see
has
that.
spent a lot of time. He rushed the Nashor's Tooth, which when you're playing on the Diana and you complete that Nashor's Tooth, it's very similar to what we saw from the Viego in game 1.
Wait, they're only 2k behind.
Oh, yeah. Just from the farm differential.
Oh my God, Kev has allergies running in right here. That's gonna be a rocket that does just barely miss, but Sammy is gonna go down, and Kev has allergies still wants this fight. He still has party in him, and he's gonna go for Ezreal. Hold on, splits his focus, goes down towards Devil. They are going to take him out. That's a 1-for-1 right here. They're gonna turn on to Galson. Ravander, quite low, gets taken out by a barrel from a Woofy. The mountains are rising. Indeed, Rathouse ulting himself right there. Actually gets a kill. Wait a second. Low health bars on the side of the red side. Rathouse, hold on a second. There's the double kill. Will he get the triple? He does! He gets the triple! Wow!
What a back and forth fight that was. Started off, looked really good from the side of Kickin Squids there. A really big time play there from the Swain, diving in, getting them all real low, but unfortunately dives a little too deep. And gets separated right from the rest of his team. Galson on the other side, zoning their whole backside and not really letting them have it. Critically, Woofy peels away from the fight with the Swain just to walk over and smites the dragon in the middle of the fight, takes it. And then, though, when all hope seemed lost, Rathouse on this Kale steps up big time, stacks up the lethal tempo. He had the Kraken Slayer completed, and he just starts to unload onto these carries for the side of NGO and gets himself a triple. He does go down in the end, but they're going to be very happy with how much gold just got injected into this Kale. On the other side, though, Galson picks up a lot of kills there. He is now 5-1 on the Gnar, right? And is up, 20 farm, has the Merc Treads, is working towards a wit's end. So you know, in this side lane, he is going to be a menace and is going to be very difficult to deal with, and is going to continue to be able to pressure Rathouse. But we did see the dream there. We saw a glimmer of what could be, right?
Yes, indeed. Gelson,
totally.
Though, showing us what is, which is that Gnar can be very big and strong. Just half healthing Kale right away. I really like Cygenesis's comment, which is, wait a minute, hold on a second. I don't think Kickin Squids is as far behind as the kills and deaths might make it seem. Also, killed it. Major 1224 and Cyrillus, thank you so much for being the newest investors in the low budget LCS. Dragon Slayer Luke going in under this tower. He's going to drop the Amumu ult as well. Uwufi's got, hold on, aggro. There's one more turret shot. That's a kill into Ravander, who's excited. Goes up, lands the zap onto Sammy 2-Slap, takes out that last minion, and the tower is saved. Waffles going in. This is the 2v1 onto Devil right here. One more auto's going to do it, but he's going to ult himself. Well played, but does he have another trick up his hands? He does not. A shutdown into Kev, and the gap grows ever smaller as the Squids slither their way back.
A really big time play there. Both in the mid lane, right? Dragon Slayer Luke landing the ult and allowing Ravander to kind of catch it there and clear the wave out. They do end up losing the mid turret, which is going to hurt quite a bit, opens up the map a lot. And that's what we're kind of seeing now. Like, yes, the gold is not as exacerbated as you would think from the kill score, but there is so much standing gold for both sides here with all of the turrets getting low in health there. As you know, we see the mid lane turret go down for the side of NGO, taking that and injecting a bunch of gold. But Kickin Squids on a really big pick from Kevin Waffles, getting the kill onto Devil. They're able to take that bot lane turret. And now we look, you know, it's only a 1K gold lead, right? Yes, 2 dragons to the side of NGO, but with every passing minute now, the dream is more and more alive for the side of the Kickin Squids here. Again, you know, these fights are still not going to be easy to do, as now we're seeing some convergence now.
Waffles is really, he's going to go in on this right here. A teleport's going to come in. That's an exhaust as well. Tricky times. Luke being left behind as Devil presses the issue, tries to go onto Waffles here, gets some slows. Galson's got that ult looking pretty big. Ravander has to flash over the wall. Woofy, holy shit! That was such a cool play! Oh my god, can't believe they landed that. That's a double stun from Sammy 2-Slap. Dragon Slayer Luke goes down. Kevin's allergies has shown up, and now he has to fight the whole team, and I don't know if he's got the health bar to do it. That's a triple kill, but the Ezreal, a great ult here from Galson into the walls. Waffles in a little bit of trouble as Ezreal's gonna walk up. One more auto should do it. That's a quadra kill. Will we see a penta from this Ezreal? It could happen. All he has to do is take down the angel himself as Rathouse walks up, flashes over the walls. He's got Gromp aggro. Hold on a second. He drops it. He could get it. Ezreal could get the kill. There's the pentakill. He's done it. Weiss Tome etches himself into LBLCS history.
What a great fight there from NGO, and in particular Weiss Tome. It all comes down from Rev, almost clears him out there, but Sammy 2-Slap on this Taric now. Look at the healing coming through now when he has a chance to just auto and heal. Heals them all up to full health. You know, in the chat here, Pickle Hater. So why give Weiss's Ezreal a second game in a row? Why? I'm in agreement there, man. That fight, he played that so perfectly. And critically, he fully stacked his Muramana right before that fight started, right? So his damage output, he is never stronger as the Ezreal than right at that moment, right? When he crests over, that transforms, and he has the Sheen item completed under his belt. So dude takes full advantage of just how strong he was in that fight, played the spacing perfectly, and is able to kill. You called it out there, the big alley-oop from Uwufi.
Yes.
Ulting Ravander right into the ultimate from Weiss. Was just an awesome start to the fight. And from there, you know, the rule of cool dictates that they had to win the fight, right? So going from there, they were able to clean them up, taking advantage of the fact that Kickin Squid seemed a little out of sorts, a little split on where they wanted to be. And, you know, once Ravander went down, Dragon Slayer Luke goes down without even casting his ultimate. Waffles gets chased down. Kev flashes over the wall thinking he can 1v4.
Oh, Woofy's got the ult right there. Kev has allergies. Ult. Now that's the tower going down. They probably aren't going to fight there, but for 1 second I thought maybe something was going to pop off.
Yeah, for sure. Gold lead now close to 5K, kind of exploded from that fight, from that big penta, and just how much pressure they got off that. They get the top lane turret, they get the mid lane tier 2 and the Baron. So just a huge influx of gold. And just like we saw in game 1, NGO playing it close until a single team fight kind of cracks the game wide open for them here. But let's see now if, like in game 1, they're able to steamroll their lead into a victory here as we're approaching now the 22-minute mark, right? They are on track to kind of keep the same momentum that they did in game 1 off of the back of just, once again, a massive team fight from NGO.
Yeah, that Ezreal is going to be just so strong, and that's the kind of fight in the shifting gold where as Kickin Squids, you need to reevaluate, you need to recalculate what you can fight over and what is worth going in on. But we've got a 5v5 in a choke area. Woofie's going to drop everything down. Who's that going to go in right there? That is going to be actually the Diana ult going to get off. And now, hold on a second. Taric ult has landed, and now it is off once again. Rathouse buying his time in the backline, but those are some low blue health bars as they separate 1-for-1. Ravander really, really wanting to get another kill right there. But a draw, more or less.
A draw, more or less, kind of puts the pin in the push, the Baron push, right, that they kind of had. They were able to push down mid, take the mid lane turret tier 2, push down top lane, take the top lane tier 2. They start to siege for a bit. What looked to be a great ult from a Woofie, and by all accounts, it was a great ult. But the target of it being the Diana allows the Diana to land a multi-man ult. And although Sammy 2Slap does get his Taric ultimate down and prevent a big brunt of the damage that came through, he does fall in the late stages of that fight. It makes it 1-for-1. The side Kickin Squids going to be very happy with a 1-for-1 there as they keep the gold lead at a respectable 5K. For how many of these fights feel like they're swinging NGO's way, a 5K gold lead, still haven't broken into the base, right? So, definitely have not heard a bell, right? They're still fighting in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kale now finally able to catch another wave in the side lane. He needs those levels. He's 3 levels away from 16. That's a massive break point. Devil actually going in, might actually get caught here. He's going to ult himself with Galson coming around on the back end, and so too will the rest of the team. A good heal and a flash away from Ravander, trying to get into that choke point. I do think they're going to leave a Mumu there, and that's the right decision. You can't lose more than one person right now.
Yeah, a little bit of a disconnect there. Ravander has to burn both sums there to stay alive, which is going to be really tough. Being that Jinx without any sums, it's a very difficult situation to be in. But from the side of NGO, grouped as 5 here on the mid wave, both side lanes pushing away from them. So kind of all inning on this mid.
Oh, here we go. A flash into Woofie, finds the angle and pops him wide open. Rathouse is full health, going on to Devil. Devil's going to get taken out. That's a level 14 Kale. And look at the ult right onto the Swain as he buys a little bit more time. He can go in and deal some damage here. Galson taking some as well. Very nice. Dragon Slayer Luke goes in and gets an ult onto 3 of them. The health bars, they're dropping as Galson gets a massive Gnar ult, but a double kill for Rathouse as he turns, and it is just the Ezreal. Weiss Tome, the Pentakiller himself, alone as the rest of his team falls. Kickin Squids are just, they're magicians. They produce miracles out of thin air.
Miracles indeed. Honestly, a bit of a head scratch there from NGO, not focusing the turret there. End up the turret being the 6th member of Kickin Squids in that team fight, just does so much damage to them and kind of really splits them away from one another, right? Not able to easily follow up the engage there. A big engage from Woofie. They just absolutely one-tap Ravander. But I think, honestly, at this point in the game, I don't think Ravander is worth all of those cooldowns.
No.
I think if you're not getting onto that Kale, then you're not winning the fight. And we saw it right there. They blow everything. They get Ravander. A really clutch ult from Rathouse onto Kev Has Allergies on this Swain to keep him alive, allow him to drain tank a bit more. And then Dragon Slayer Luke with the big counter engage lands the ult and allows Rathouse to clean up the fight. So once again, Rathouse onto 3 items now, right? Onto 3 items, two levels away, probably realistically a level and a half, or level in a little bit, probably going to tick over this 15 very shortly. So, assessing what the ramifications of that are, they do not crack the base. They don't take that mid-tier tier 3, which ultimately was what they were aiming for. And so I think a little over eagerness, they see the blood and their eyes turn red. They see their opportunity and they pounce. And now that gold lead, only a 3K, right? And so they are able to take the Drake. And so they are at that soul point, right? So they're only 4 minutes away from a potential soul. And they have a lot of vision set up here.
Wait, they have an angle without a Woofy. I don't know if now they know that a Woofy's not with them, but they are going to get sandwiched. This is one of those moments where you either got to go in. They do catch Sammy 2-slap right here, but that is the Tarek. He's going to drop the ult right there. He's going to go in. They have to wait till it goes down. That's the Gnar ult going down right there. That's some healing too. Oh, but here it is. A Woofy is showing up to the fight, and this is just all over the place, folks, as Rathouse still alive. Kev has allergies is too, as Weisstome has to kite away. Rathouse, oh my god, that was so much damage. A Woofy, can he get out of this? Can he get out of this? He cannot. He gets taken down, but up in the top lane, it's Kev has allergies who's in trouble. A well-placed Q and the Gnar, and it is just 2v2, folks. The top laner's an ADC and a support, and I don't know who wants this smoke less, quite frankly. Luke, watch out, my man. Luke gets taken down next to the Baron there. He goes for a ward.
No.
No one's good. Listen, he died so he wouldn't take experience from Rathouse. I respect it.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a tactical. It was a tactical death. It was a tactical death.
I do them all the time. So
exactly. Every death is a tactical death if you call your shot. You know what I mean? Big time team fight there. Really getting tough to navigate for NGO. This Kale starting to become a real problem here. Yes. The Gnar and the Ezreal able to output a lot of prolonged DPS, and ultimately that was what kind of pulled the fight ahead for them, barring Dragon Slayer Luke. Because ultimately, Kickin Squids were the ones who initiated that fight, kind of as you called out, taking advantage of the separation where Luffy found himself drifting around on the wrong side of the map, and ultimately they're able to take advantage of it, able to get
they're gonna go for it.
Good engage.
They're gonna go for it.
Pull the trigger on this Baron.
Nefarious Gaming Omens. Going for it. The rocket finds them out. Kale is walking up. Waffles, he could go in. He's trying to look for the angle. He doesn't go for the steal. He's waiting for his team. The team fight is more important than anything else. There's the bandage toss. Gets 3 people. Galson is in Mega Gnar form. He's actually got quite a bit of rage left. That's going to be Sammy 2-slap still living, but the Terrical goes down. And now we think about the back line. Dragon Slayer Luke is going to dive in. Woofy forced to back away. A massive ult right there. Gets 3 members, but not Rathouse or Ravander. And the autos are just raining down hell as Devil is slain by an angel. And Weisstome, the next to fall, Ravander gets that kill. And oh, Woofy goes in for the bomb ult kill, but is not able to get it. Oh my god. Letting the Baron go for the fight after.
A huge misstep there on the side of NGO. They had 3 members out, right? The engage comes through for Kickin Squids. Yes, 2 members are going to go down, but 3 members on their way out, and they decide to turn back for the fight. Weisstome has played this game fantastically, a big pentakill earlier, but he eased into right at the Diana ult, and that Diana ult just kind of one-taps him. Really well timed there. I think a big part of this, Waffles' build here, going for 2 tank items after the Nashor's Tooth gives him a lot of survivability here. And on the side of NGO, they output a ton of damage onto him, thinking that they could one-tap him, right? You see the Diana early game builds that Nashor's Tooth. You're like, oh, that's a squishy one, assassin Diana. Not the case here at all, as Diana has built 2 tank items. So they unload a ton of damage into her, and she just does not go down and is able to save the ultimate for the right time when Weiss thinks he has an angle, ease in, and just gets one-tapped here. But as we're getting called out in the chat.
No way, he goes over. They catch Sammy 2-slap, but do they have the damage? Hold on, Dragon Slayer Luke actually in a little bit of trouble. Ravander gonna walk down. Kev has allergies. They have to be so careful. Dragon Slayer Luke back up against the wall right here in the Dragon Pit. Okay, Flash is over. Respect. Says, I just need to get back with my team. I don't care about anything else. And as said in the chat by Streetside reporter Richard Allison, this fight is everything. This is going to be massive right now. Both teams.
Yeah, if NGO can get the soul here, that's going to be huge for them.
That will be the sign to pop off. Ezreal ult dropped across the bow. It hits Rat House. What can go on now? That's Galson going in. Can he get the ult just yet? I think he's saving it. Taric ult coming through. They're not able to kill the Gnar before. Blue team steals it. Blue team steals it. They don't actually get the Mountain Soul. And now red health bar is dropping quite low as Uwufi. The last one left in the center. He is going to fall. And 3 for nothing so far as the Kickin Squids are absolutely cutting through the lines. Waffle's looking to cut off the Ezreal right here, targeting him, but a very nice E, a smite to slow him down. He's still got the dashes. One more rocket will do it. Revander. Oh my God. They win that fight.
They win that fight. They have a gold lead now, and they're going to push down this bot lane with the numbers advantage. Long respawn timers now, 33 minutes into this game. No CC on Kale, Rat House untouched. Lil Deer Lilia says in the chat, totally right. That's probably going to be a good game because this Rat House now on this Kale is just so unkillable. Building the Rylai's fourth too. I love this decision from him. Just really makes it difficult for anyone to get onto him. He just slows the whole enemy team now. Really tough. It's gonna be really tough for NGO now to close out these fights. Their damage profile is very low. They do not have a ton of damage if they can't one-tap Rat House. So if Kickin Squids just death ball as 5, something that they've done for the back half so far of this game, I don't see how NGO can puncture through. Right? They've kind of weathered this storm, and now, gonna be really tough to deal with.
Listen, I think Street Side reporter Richard Allison puts it best. This Kale is getting banned game 3 100%. Absolutely. Listen, this team led with their heart. They knew if they were going to go down, they were going to go down kicking. And by God, did they kick. This has been an incredible lesson in scaling. If this was a solo queue game, Kale's the guy who's just saying, we win these. We win these. We win these. Everybody calm down. It's okay.
Yeah, we've all been there in a solo queue game where you're playing a scaling pick and you get ahead and you're like, no, play around me, we can win this, and that's 100%. Rat House, I'm sure, calming the entire team down, just saying, listen, we got this. All it's gonna take is a little bit of time. And
oh my God! Wait, was that a guess? Hold on, Uwufi being targeted by Waffles right there. That's going to be a slow over-the-wall Rat House walking over, flash away from Uwufi. The Kale's going to walk in, get these autos off flashes. Listen, smoke them if you got them. This is what flashes are for. Everybody gets out of that.
Everyone gets out of that, but big flashes down. Uwufi building this heavy AP build. His job is to one-tap this Kale. Without a flash, very difficult to do. Very difficult to get onto that back line. So now they have to wait even longer before they have a chance to actually win a team fight here. Really going to be tough. Very little damage that can get onto Rat House consistently. This Kale pick paying huge as we get into the late stage of this game. And as we said, draft means a lot sometimes, but it means nothing sometimes as well. If you can pilot the pick, then that's all that matters. And as they say in the chat here from Very Frightening, I mean, it's just a scaling pick they actually played for. Yeah, exactly. They just played for this Kale. They played around it. They gave it the time it needed. And now in these team fights, given the opportunity, really taking advantage of it. Now they're going to start this Baron already halfway down. Ult comes down. They know it's happening, but there's not a whole lot they can do about it. And I think that's all that's left is to group it up and walk it down. There's just not a whole lot NGO now can do. Their comp has just been outscaled.
And I do like how Kickin Squids has been playing this in the back half, right? Taking the 2 side lanes, you group up, you push down middle, you let the super minions in the side do their work. And this is, it's nothing special, but this is textbook League, right? You let the game do as much work for you as you can, and then you go around, you gobble up these objectives, and now they've got their pick of Dragon or pushing down more towers. But honestly, you want to end the game, right? You don't want to continue to sort of coin flip whether or not, because yes, they've been outscaled, but Nefarious Gaming absolutely still has fight in them. And if you give them a chance, they're going to go for it.
Oh, 100%. If you, I mean, if you misposition and you turn your brain off for a second, you autopilot. 100% game is always losable, right? But it's just the Squids have done such a wonderful job at this point now of just staying calm, cool, and collected, and they just got to keep doing what they've been doing, which of course easier said than done. But as they're grouping up on this mid lane, trying to siege it down, escorting cannon waves, and they've already got this turret down to half health. The top and bot lane inhibitors are down, so they're just going to be able to just shepherd in waves and waves of super minions that are going to need to get answered by NGO, or their base is going to be in the past.
Yeah, and there it is. The tower falls. Now the inhib open. They've got this dragon that they can pull back to. At this point, I do think it's probably smart just to take this dragon just because the other team is on Soul, and, if things go wrong, you don't want to also give that up if you die in a fight.
For sure. Baron, they're on the last legs of their Baron here. Take the dragon, maybe push a wave or two, use those Baron-powered backs, and kind of set up to play around 3 waves, right? Because now they have 3 exposed inhibitors. And then everyone just decides, you know what? Let's not go anywhere. Let's just pause right here. They all teleport into place, and now they're in the base, taking the inhib, using the last of this Baron buff now to head towards the bot side. See if they can take this one, and just again the map is so open now for Kickin Squids after a series of just very successful team fights.
Now we are going to see one more fight, in the question, what is it going to look like? And honestly, pretty good angle, pretty good look there from Uwufi, right? That would have been one of the fights that if I was in comms, I would have called for that.
Well, I mean, even just hidden positioning there forces Kickin Squids back, right? It just, even if you don't engage the fight there, you just showing that you have the flank angle keeps the Kickin Squids from pushing any further. Ultimately they do get the bot inhib, which is what they're there for, and they're going to transition right to the top side, looking to triple inhib. And once the triple inhib happens, NGO just going to be locked into their base, unable to press out with double super minions coming through all 3 lanes.
Absolutely, and a massive amount of respect here coming from the Kickin Squids for Nefarious Gaming Omens. They do not want to mess up this opportunity that's in front of them, and realistically, potentially, if NGO wins this fight, they could win the game off of it, but let's see if something happens. Uwufi coming around the angle right here. Look at that great offensive play from Luke. Good flashes being used right there. Uwufi is going to get taken down. The Terror Cult is going to go off. Everyone's going to live for quite a long time. That's going to be Radhouse pushed very far up, but my eyes are on the Kale health bar, and it is staying at half health. Hold on, though. We've got Waffles, a double kill for the Ezreal. Oh, no, the ult's going in the wrong direction, but he gets the triple kill anyways, and it is just the slap verse. Rathouse slapping down these autos. Same with the Jinx right here. Oh, wow. That was honestly a really, really solid fight and almost went NGO's way.
Yeah, they played out as best they could. A big engage there from Galson to get onto the back line. As he's now diving in.
He's gonna go for it. You gotta
go for it.
You gotta go for it. But at the end of the day, they did it. The dream came true, just like in the movies. The Kale came online, and we are going to a game 3 between Kickin Squids and Nefarious Gaming Omens.
They're able to bounce back. They make every one of us look like fools. They make the chat look like fools. They make me look like a fool. Really big time performance there. In particular, I think for my vote, the MVP of that game was Rathouse on this Kale.
Totally.
Piloting that champion to much success. Doesn't do the most damage on his team, but the damage that he did do was all in the late game. Was all in team fights when his team needed him to step up. And so really big time performance there from the Rathouse. As Richard Arlison says in the chat, we're all frauds together. Ain't that the truth?
Well, hold on a second. My record is spotless here.
Exactly.
Fully believe in the Kale. Now, were the numbers on my side? Not at all, baby.
Yeah. I mean, NGO, if they're looking back at this, if they're looking to game 3 here, it's going to be tough to keep the mental strong because that game was 100% in their hands. two team fights. They overextend, push too deep, thinking that they have, the games the game's won, that, they're so far ahead, they're taking it, they get a kill or two, and they just push too far and give the game back over to Kickin Squids. And listen, it takes two to tango, right? And the Kickin Squids, they catch the punt. But if you're NGO resetting here for game 3 and getting themselves into a good mind state to close out a game 3 is going to be very important, because momentum is definitely on the sides of Kickin Squids after the way that they had the game in the palm of their hand.
100%. And enjoy your schmeckles, folks. Your hard-earned schmeckles. These are the series we love. One just a best of one with extra steps, to quote Pop Boa. But
now,
here
as we go into game 3, Silver Scrapes, I'm gonna go get a glass of water.
Do it up, baby.
If you could serenade us with Silver Scrapes, that would be wonderful. I think the chat would love that.
100%. Now here's the thing, guys. One of the things that I'd love to have, the bot is LeChance? The bot is LeChance. I don't know what Awoofi's saying. Awoofy, you minx. Yes, enjoy Silver Scrapes. You guys know the lyrics. It's incredible. You guys know the lyrics. They use Choke just on an absolute tear, gifting subs tonight. Giving one to Pickle Hater. Pickle Hater, who takes 2 to tango. Buggle, them's the breaks. Listen, I was gonna say this earlier, but some of these things were put in by other, our stream is really more like, it's like 4 different it's like 4 different TV shows.
Well, anytime I watch TV, I like to put on 4 different TV shows with the volume all the way up to fully experience all 4 shows.
It's
right?
the best way to experience media.
Exactly. I like to call it a media coma because it makes my brain feel all tingly.
A media cocoon, because when you come out of it, you're a completely different person.
Exactly. Now, important to note here, game 3, a side switch, right? First 2 games, Kickin Squids on the blue side, both times with that first pick priority.
Good luck.
Switching it up here now, Kickin Squids on that red side, gonna have the ultimate counter pick. We'll have to see how that changes the draft, because on the side of Kickin Squids here, first game, they first picked the Viger, right? And then second game, they banned the Viger and went for the Swain instead. So interesting to see, will NG Omens take advantage of that and grab, one of those picks for themselves?
Well, we are already into draft. These teams are wasting nobody's time, certainly not their own. And the bans are coming in hot and fresh.
Kickin Squids banning away the Swain here, right? That now that they can't first pick it, and the Viger. Important, leaving up the Kennen in the top lane, which something that they banned away in game 2 after an amazing performance from Galson in game 1. But both Viger and Swain banned away here from the Kickin Squids. They don't want to give either of those, what they consider to be incredibly powerful picks, over to the side of NGO. So NGO with this first pick, see what they pick. They grab the Ezreal again, 3 games in a row on the Ezreal. After he had a really strong performance in game 2 and game 1. So I like that, fall back. If they're going to give it to him, he's going to take it,
one of 2 things happens in series like this. You either, and I think that this is the former, you either get better and better at the champ, right? You keep getting warmed up on it, or you get burnt out. But listen, game 1, he didn't get a pentakill. Game 2, he did get a pentakill. So definitely,
that's all the proof you need, right? That's
all the proof I need. Absolutely.
Right. But on the side, Kickin Squids, going for that same bot lane. That's going to be 3 games in a row of the Jinx. Dragon Slayer Luke feeling like he hit his stride on the Amumu pick here. With Omens picking up the Lilia in the jungle and the Taric. So once again, NGO with the Ezreal Taric all 3 games. Same bot lane every single time.
Wow, Lil Dear Lilia popping off. So excited to see their champion being picked. Dear Gaming.
Dear Gaming indeed, dude. You love to see it. Love to see it.
Lilia, please hit us with all the Lilia facts if you feel like you've got some things to contribute.
Yeah, every little trick of the trade. The Vex here coming in for Kickin Squids. A very interesting champ pick here. Basically blind Vex, right? Not a champ you usually see blind picked. Usually picked as a counter to a lot of either mobile champions or short range champs you can kind of abuse. But blind picking it here, kind of throwing down the gauntlet onto Devil and saying, what do you got? Bans away the Yone, ban away the Cannon, and on the other side from NGO, bans away that Diana that ended up being in the late stages of the game a very strong pick for Waffles. So, you know, a lot of bans here, hearkening back to the successes of game 1 and 2 from both side here. So a lot of people here going to be put onto picks that we haven't seen them play as of yet, or at least going to have to grab something that hasn't been as successful so far this series and see if they can turn around. The Alistar picked up here, meaning that Amumu is going to Waffles in the jungle, using the fact that Amumu is such a powerful flex pick to their advantage now with the Alistar locked in for Dragon Slayer Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. Well played from the Kickin Squids. A little bit of close-up magic on display here. Please lock in that Yasuo. Yes, baby. We've got a Yasuo on the side of Nefarious Game and Omens. Devil, he can play both the brothers.
Yeah, honestly, that's impressive as heck, to play both of them. Very skill-intensive champions. Very interesting. The Yasuo, usually something that you like to pair with, some form of, knock-up, some form of hard engage to set you up. But if I'm looking at their comp right now, they're kind of lacking in that department, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Lilia has a bit of a long-range ability to start, and the Kale gets locked in. And it's
an insurance policy.
It really is. And from the side of NGO, in the game 1, they had a lot of ways to punish it. They had a lot of means to get onto them, at least in the early stage of the game, with the Lissandra, with the Gragas, right? Now, though, I'm not seeing that backline access that they had in game 1. Now, of course, the Yasuo, a very flashy champion that in the right hands can do unbelievably good things. And this game is no different, right? But I worry without the proper setup for that Yasuo, how he's going to be able to get into this back line, into a comp that honestly has a lot of means to kind of blow him up pretty quickly, right? The Vex, the Jinx, the Amumu ult, the Alistar, with the ability to kind of interrupt a lot of what Yasuo wants to do. And even in lane, right? Yasuo into Vex. Vex so good into champions with dashes. Widely considered, I think, a pretty good matchup for the Vex. Every time Yasuo goes to E, you have the empowered auto attack on him. So you can really, make his life very difficult from the early stages. And, you have that fear to kind of interrupt, his attempts to get into you. It's going to be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. I'm on this, just looking at the draft that we have here, I'm leaning towards the Kickin Squids, because we've seen the prowess on them. And if anything, I think that this draft that they put together this time is actually better than the draft they had in game 2, where they took the W. On the side of NGO, I just don't see a lot of cohesion with a lot of their champions here, right? Yes, Lilia Yasuo, very strong mid-jungle duo with a lot of early damage. So if they can, snowball ahead, obviously, as we said, execution is king. But in late stages of the game, I'm not seeing a lot of cohesion in these champions like we did see in game 1.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the composition certainly is more fluid this time around, and still with that extra, late game insurance policy. But you know what? We all thought that NGO had the better comp last game. And I will say this, there's something about a Yasuo where it's one of the champs that can definitely turn the tide of a game if in the proper hands. And
for sure.
Devil has been on top of it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the Amumu in the jungle, I do like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple people in chat here who I totally agree with. Lest Force here saying there's no setup for Lilia or Yasuo. So true. Both champions are kind of looking for another champion to set it up, and instead they have each other, right? And so I don't think either one of them are very happy with that pairing. And as Very Frightening says, this comp seriously destroys this Yasuo. It's so hard for this Yasuo to get in. Yasuo thrives on low CC comps because he has the ability to kind of dance through the backline kind of deal. But I mean, you can't dance or win wall in a Mumawalt, a Alistar engage, even a Vex W. You can't, right? So there's so many means to just make Yasuo completely incapable of doing anything here. But again, we said that game 2, right? This isn't even executive, right? Where the level, a lot of the matchups play out a lot more like we think they're going to play out. I mean, this is economy, baby. This is the Wild West. Anything can happen here, right?
Yes, it can. I was playing spooky violin music in the background while you were talking there, and just experimenting with other free musical YouTube channels.
I like that. You should play spooky violin music every time I talk. I think that would really just set the vibe.
Yes, of course. Wasn't even doing it because of the name, but it is truly a perfect brand fit for you.
As Lil Dear Lilia says, a spooky man gets a spooky soundtrack. That's what we're here for.
I would love to have a soundtrack just for you that I could toggle every time you talk. It's pretty spooky. The music is pretty spooky.
Can confirm.
Yes.
Can confirm. Was spooky.
Good. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see how these teams play it out. I think you're spot on with your analysis here, and we just went through it. And sometimes the draft matters, sometimes it doesn't. I'm inclined to agree with you. I think everything you said about Yasuo wanting those low CC comps is extremely true. And so they're going to have to get creative. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to tie one hand behind your back so you become more aware. Speaking of being aware, 32 seconds till the doors of the casino are slammed and your opportunity to touch glory tonight is ripped away from you. So if you are feeling nasty and dirty, throw some money onto NGO because right now it's 24% to 76%. And those are odds that absolutely get me excited. You've got 8 seconds.
You gotta like those odds if you're a betting man. Like the little bit of the banter here that we have going in the chat here. NGO's draft feels like 3 people said, just pick me, whatever, let's lose in peace. And then Nick says, this is how every draft for them goes, can confirm. So that's pretty telling. The reference, I love the reference to the Dardock meme. Just pick me whatever, let's lose in peace. But I don't know. I think, as we kind of called out at the end of game 2 there, that's a tough loss for the side of NGO. That's a really tough loss to have the game in your hands like that and to throw the ball over the net and let them kind of get a free serve on you. Is a tough one. It's a tough one to bounce back from. So maybe there is a little bit of tilt, starting to set in on the side of NGO, whereas the side of Kickin Squids, they're feeling good. They're feeling light and loose in the caboose, and they're ready to take on NGO in game 3 with a comp that, feels like it's right in their wheelhouse. A lot of people on champions that we know them for, a lot of power on the side of all their carries. Rat House on this Kale pick, someone who really showed up in game 2, despite the odds, right? But again, on game 3, and if anything, in a situation where I think Kale is even better than it was in game 2. So we've already seen that he can perform on it. Now let's see if he can seal the deal and they can lock it in to take the 2-1 in a pivotal series, right? We were setting up the stakes before the match. Both teams on the prowl for a late season playoff push. Both teams, closing out their seasons on a high note would really set them up really well for a potentially good seeding going to playoffs. Both teams in the hunt, right? So I'm very excited to see how this game turns out as we load up onto the Rift.
Absolutely, and I should mention that a lot of things do still have to come into. A lot of games still have to be played to sort of lock in who goes into playoffs. I think it's really important for Kickin Squids to win this one. I think that NGO still has a path to playoffs, even if they lose this series. I'm not 100, as I said in my announcement post, my math is often wrong.
Right.
So Life says yes, but I don't know if that was to me or to something else.
I think that was in reference to the Aatrox Comet.
Gotcha.
Comet from Wilder Lilia. A really good into ranged matchups for the Aatrox. You see it a lot on like Aatrox. You see it on like Scion. Oh, yes to you, LeChance.
Oh.
New Life was confirming.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Cool. All right. So yeah. So lots on the line. What with these teams being on the edge of that playoffs line. I don't know.
They're on the edge of glory. They're on the edge of glory.
They are on the edge of glory. Is it? Well, I don't want to tab over now. Am I streaming for you, by the way?
Yeah.
Excellent. This is great. We love this. All right, let's switch to...
Both teams now as 5-man units pushing into opposite sides of the map. Not gonna see each other at all. They're both just gonna tepidly step into sides of the map and just get down some vision. Kind of funny considering both of the previous games on the side of the Kickin Squids, their early invade, they were able to find enemies. Game 1, they weren't able to do anything with the find, missed a hook just barely. That would have kind of set up something, but Game 2, able to burn the flash early on Galson. So instead, though, this time around, both teams entering into this level 1 of laning phase on equal footing. Only difference that we're seeing here, Kickin Squids gets down a deep ward on the enemy blue side, gonna know where the enemy jungler is starting, whereas on the side of NGO, they do not have that information. So tracking the jungler is going to be very difficult in these early stages as they don't know where he's starting.
Yes, indeed. They'll be able to telegraph that first game a little bit better. I'm excited to see this Lilia, and I'm excited for Lilia's excitedness as well.
I'm excited for Lilia. Lilia is always a really fun champ. Especially if he gets out ahead, it can snowball just so aggressively. It's just one of the fastest farming junglers. Once it has a little bit of levels and items under its belt, and just can be into the right comp can be really difficult to deal with. Both junglers both make sense. They're both highly mana intensive AP junglers, and so they're both starting at their blue buffs. A Moo for Waffles is going to be pathing up towards this top side, and Lilia, Deer does go fast and is going to start pathing down towards this bot side.
It does indeed. My brain just has to switch to seeing these teams on the opposite sides. I'm confused after 2 games of in a row of the same thing, seeing an Ezreal on the other side of the map.
Yeah, a little mix and bingle in the jingle and street here. As the teams kind of switch sides, which had huge draft implications. The priority picks not being able to get taken here for both sides, but both sides kind of just trading pretty evenly. Already though, we're kind of seeing this mid lane, why it is that this Vex pick is frequently picked, into Yas. every time he just E's, he's forced to win wall just to even like get to the farm effectively.
Right. Yeah, he's able to shove that wave in, but I think you're right. Okay, Galson gonna make a connection there, but I think that last charge of the Q didn't quite connect.
No, last charge of the Q didn't connect. The second charge didn't fully connect either. Didn't get the mini knocker. Didn't hit the sweet spot. The sweet spot. Which that's if you've played against Aatrox, you think you're winning a fight, and then all of a sudden he just hits 2 sweet spots in a row, heals a bunch, and big E though.
Gonna get a little bit slowed. Gets the flash out of Kev.
An interesting flash there from Kev. I don't know if he thought Devil had the Q3 up, so would be able to follow up and be able to one-tap him there. No CC to speak of to kind of lock him in place. So kind of difficult for them to really, finish off Kev through his W shield and through the fear of his passive. So, but good pressure there from NGO, forcing him to flash away from the potential danger. And now with the flash down on the Vex, post 6, it's going to be a very easy pickings for this mid jungle duo to really put the screws in on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do think that is going to be one of the keys, right? Like we're talking about that Yasuo needs help, that they do allocate resources there. And they've been pretty good about that. In the past games, they've shown they're definitely very capable of putting resources where they need to be on the map, especially in these early minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Gonna wade in here. Doesn't connect with the CC, but does land that third Q.
Yeah, Radhouse though gonna be very happy how this lane is playing out. Gonna easily hit 6 without any jungle pressure rod, but as I say that, Uwufi stepping in around on the back trying to get something going. Again, kind of a difficult thing to do. Lillian, not a jungler you associate with early ganking, right? Definitely is a farming, scaling jungler into the mid game. But Radhouse, as I said, can be very happy with how this early stage of this lane played out. Able to farm pretty freely. When this wave bounces back, he's going to be equal in farm with Galson. Just not pressuring him as much as he did when he had the Gnar pick. But using the push is going to be able to secure these grubs. Waffles on this side of the jungle won't be able to trade onto the far side of the map.
Going right in. That's a flashback to Tower Devil. Very low, but he gets the knockup. He drops the ult. And does he get the kill? It's a trade. First blood goes to Vex, but a huge play from Devil.
A huge play from Devil. A little bit of a missed damage calculation there from Kev. Thought he had enough to just one-tap him. Goes for the auto. But Devil, luck of the Devil, just gets the passive shield right when that last auto comes through from Kev that would have killed him. But instead, buys enough time, is able to hit the Q3 and keep him under turret with the ult. And ultimately trades a 1-for-1. Kev going to be very happy though with that trade, right? You get the first blood gold.
Yes.
You push him into the turret. Devil still has the ignite up, but without the TP, is not going to be able to come back into lane as effectively. So now do have to be careful. Kev does not have flash or ult up, so a return gank from Uwufi with the ignite of Devil is going to do a lot of work here.
Right.
But we're going to be very happy with that trade of 1-for-1 and ult trades,
Yeah, absolutely. Waffles coming around, level 5, but he wants to find an angle here. Let's see. There's going to be Dragon Slayer Luke going in. Bumps the Ezreal back a little bit, and it looks like a retreat in good order. Because Ezreal, that guy can jump. He's pretty hard to pin down.
Really tough to land the headbutt pulverize with the Alistar. It's a very easy buffer as far as ability buffers go for the Ezreal E. It's very forgiving because you do have that brief gap between the two abilities. So I think as we get into the later stages, it's going to have to be Waffles who kind of starts it off onto the Ezreal and kind of locks him down to set up for the Alistar.
Oh, Devil's going in for this. He does get the knockup, gets that auto in, drops it as well. Only doing about a third of Kev's health, though. Good wind wall.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for Devil to kind of win these all-ins into the Vex, right? The Vex W shield negating a good amount of chunk of it. Just getting so many empowered auto attacks off onto Devil here because of all the dashing that he does.
Totally.
Right there gets the fear. So even in a fight that it looks like Devil's gonna win, you know, Kev with a quick W and fear pop just is able to just like turn the trade in an instant. So again, a little, you know, when you're feeling that you want to pick a Yasuo, draft doesn't matter. You're gonna pick that Yasuo, right? That's just how it works.
Waffles, bandage toss in. That's a flash over the wall. Vex is coming up. Galson wrapping around.
Vex does have ult.
Vex does have ult. That would be honestly massive. Kev does have a big potential angle to come in, but kind of low on mana, about half health.
I'm a little surprised there. I thought Waffles was going to queue back in and land the 2-man ult for Kev to come in with his ult. I think that, you know, that they were kind of set up for it, but chooses not to, gets the farm, knows that the scaling is on their side, right? You know, we talked into how well they played into their Kale late game advantage in game 2, you know, so they're just rinse and repeating here. You know, they don't have to force fights. The onus to do things is on NGO. They have to get a lead. They have to get ahead. Otherwise, they just naturally fall behind.
Right.
And the fights have just become near impossible, as we saw at the end of game 2. So,
yes.
Really good patience from the side of Kickin Squids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Devil might be in some trouble here. Let's see. That's going to be the ult coming down. The Ignite ticking down too. Rocket comes up his way, but it does look like that kill's going to go to Waffles. If he was alone, he wins that duel, but of course, that's why Kev was staying in range. He knew he had support. He knew he had backup.
Yeah, Kev ults preemptively early on to just, you know, make sure that he can keep him within range, knowing that he's got his jungler support. He keeps the flash up. Devil ignites and immediately flashes to buy distance really well. And Waffles just comes on in, closes it out with the ult. And as we said, you know, how hard it is for Devil to play these fights, you know, into the fear of Kev, into the ult from Amumu, right? You can't win wall an Amumu ult. You know, you can't even dash out of an Amumu ult, right? It's instant, it's huge, and it's going to lock you down. And it's going to lock you down, and it's going to turn a big chunk of the AP damage that gets dealt to you into true damage. So it's a really tough situation for NGO. They're going to have to see if they can get something going soon in one of these lanes. Otherwise, they're going to just sleep out.
Speaking of, they're going to look at Dragon Slayer Luke right here, the Alistar, right? Very, very tanky. The ult keeping him alive.
He walks it out,
and a good set of traps there too. No, I listen. I totally hear what you're saying with the Yasuo, but credit where credit is due. Devil's doing a pretty great job of laning into this situation, right? Like the trades that he's going for, he's not just like losing like all the way back. He's actually going up. He's really engaging. Here he is. He's gonna go in. He's gonna back out. Nice wind wall. He's clearly got a lot of competence on this champion. He knows what he's doing for sure. And they're gonna go for this dragon.
For sure. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, like, you know, he's playing it very well. He's showing that he has a lot of prowess on this champion pick, right? And it's, I think, you know, in a different situation, I think he would be an absolute terror in this, and he still could be, right? I mean, I'm just, you know, we're calling as we see it in this early stage of the 100%. Game. You know, he's struggling, but again, you know, that they don't joke about a Yasuo 10 death power spike for nothing, you know, like. Right. He has the capability to turn this around. We're seeing the glimpses of what might be to come from him with this prowess here. But yeah, I like the fact that they're still trying to be proactive. They're still trying to make things happen. Unfortunately, not a lot of setup for this Lilia in any of these lanes. So it makes it kind of difficult.
Great kiting from Rat House up there. Just dodging everything, weaving those autos in. He's had a full game of practice on this Kale already. And I think Galson's feeling the range a little bit right here.
Yeah, definitely. Because as we said, was unpunished in the early stages of the laning phase on this Kale pick. And so now,
Rat House, great ult right there, flashing while he's still invulnerable, makes his way back to tower.
Yeah, a big roam from Sammy 2-Slap here.
Waffles lands it. Kev has allergies, got to walk up and deal the damage, but a flash from Devil will keep him in the fight.
Keeps him in the fight, a really good flash away. Takes advantage of the brief disconnect and CC layering from Waffles and Kev. Really good job taking advantage of that and staying alive. And that's a lot of cooldowns used. Waffles used his ult, Kev used his ult, and those are huge ultimates for the side of Kickin Squids. And so, in response to that, we're seeing the grubs getting taken now for the side of NGO, using the fact that Amumu without his ult can't really contest this. And Vex without the ult can't contest either. So 6 grubs going to get secured for the side of NGO. 3 grubs from the side of NGO. 3 and 3.
And they'll grab the Rift Herald, which, going to be able to use that to crack open probably.
Oh, yeah, it was the Rift Herald. The Rift Herald.
Right.
Grubs. Yeah, there we go. The map wasn't panning over to the
yeah, they're in the pit. They're doing something. They're fighting something that's purple.
Exactly. Yeah, they're fighting one of the many purple things on Summoner's Rift.
Exactly.
They secure their purple, and we'll see what they can do with it. Right, a big Herald play could definitely be the snowball swing that they need to start bringing this game back to their side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Wise Tome has been doing a great job of spending a lot of time alone down here in the bot lane, right? Like,
oh, for sure. I mean, that's something we didn't get a chance to see a lot in games 1 and 2. But when you pick this Ezreal pick, that's usually a big part of it, right? You picking this Ezreal pick because it's so self-sufficient, it's so good. It's why it's commonly paired with pikes or bards or other roaming supports, because they feel comfortable that they can leave their ADC. But Waffles and Dragon Slayer Luke sneaking around here, starting to fight off.
Yes, they will. Sammy 2-Slap doing his best. There we go, dropping the ult. Will he live long enough? He does. It's going to time out in a second, though, and then they commit the recommit onto Sammy. They're going to get that kill.
Gonna get the kill. Really good job finding a pocket of vision that they could sneak in on and secure it. A good ult from Sammy 2-Slap to try and keep him alive, but in the end, not able to keep himself alive.
And this
a big pickup there.
Might be in some trouble here, but he's just going to back away. He's going to cede the tower. Sammy's running towards him, and there's the Rift Herald mid. Just going to get it down to half health. Woofy and Devil, making short work. Interesting, actually, even poking. Oh, wait a second. Woofy walking down, but Waffles may be caught out a little bit. Let's see if Sammy can do something. Teleport coming in. Good eye. Teleport coming in. Galson coming around. Devil on the way, too. There's going to be Alistar knocking people away. That's going to be Waffles. They're going to catch. They catch Waffles, and they push them off. Dragon not up for another 20 seconds, but a great rotation here from NGO.
A great rotation, but an even better disengage from the side of Kickin Squids here. They're going to be very happy to just lose one. They might lose this turret as well, but they get the TP out, and guess who's sitting alone in the top lane with that turret? That's the Kale, and that's plenty for them. That's all they're looking for. Yes, NGO, though, is going to get to start up this Dragon here off of this, which will put them at soul point. It is a Cloud Soul, which is, not the most ideal, or at least it is a Hextech Soul.
It's one of the many.
So a Hextech Soul, that's a big soul pickup for them. So if that could be another route for them into this game. But yeah, Kale left alone in the top side gets the turret fully for herself, and now is fully online, level 12, equal in farm with Galson, with the Kraken Slayer completed. Working already, got multiple components for got multiple components for the Gwinsus, which is going to be coming through next. And everyone in the chat is calling it out. The dragon feels good, but that Kale is loving life right now. Certainly that Kale is calling out, like, just walk away. Just walk away. We're happy with this. We're happy with this trade. From the side of NGO, we called it out that, they really feel like they need to make stuff happen. And I think, the
1v1 going down. Here. Lots of different CC being dropped right here. Woofy prancing around as this deer, just going to take a rocket right to the face. Less Force is kind of pointing. It is interesting, right? Yes, it's one of those situations where both teams just got a great deal, right? Nobody's unhappy with how that plays out. But I think you're right. Like, it's the dragon, but Kale's scaling. That's still good. It's just the onus is on them to, like, continue to pick up steam. And if that soul would be a pretty big break point and definitely something they could use to pop this game a little bit more open. But you gotta finish it. The Nexus has to blow up. And until it does, that Kale's gonna keep getting stronger.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, as we said, NGO really feeling the pressure that they have to kind of make something happen there, right? So, yes, the TP does give Kale all that gold, but as we said, they get the kill, they get the dragon. So I think both sides, from their perspective, are probably like, okay, I'm happy with how that worked out, because if NGO doesn't make that play, right, and they just kind of wait around for a little bit, they're just, that tower's going to go down eventually anyway, right? So they, definitely feeling the need to do something proactive there. And so all that matters is what this Kel can do with the gold that it has.
And they're going to try and do it 4 versus 1. Let's see if Rathouse can find his way out of there. He's just running, which is absolutely the smart thing to do. There's a smite coming down. They need to land some CC on the guy because he's got that ultimate, which he is going to use. And they actually... No way. No way! They do it! The ticking damage from Lilia. It takes 4 of them, but they do kill the Kale.
They do get that Kale down, and that's big, right? If that Kale gets away there, they use all of their cooldowns, and they don't get it down, and they're going to transition, trying to start up this Baron, really using that moment because they see Waffles on the bot wave.
Oh, yes.
Waffles there, the split pushing as the jungler. This is what happens. You show up on the bot wave, they know you're there, and then they know that's a free Baron.
An amazing heads-up play from NGO.
Really
they rotate
really
around.
Smart.
Listen, if the lanes aren't working for you, shake it up, make something happen. That's exactly what they did. And now they find themselves in a position of power. Still down gold, but they have Baron and 3 dragons. This is not a bad place to be.
Yeah. No, this was a really heads-up move by them, really to push the tempo. As Richard Arlison calling out, they have Prio for Soul too. That was a really good tempo move. Bit of a misstep there from Waffles. Thought he had the ability to push the bot lane, but even if they hadn't gone for that Baron, it's not as though the Amumu has the attack speed to take down that turret, right? Or any AP or AD to do any damage. So, not able to really do anything with that, but a great capitalization from NGO to really put the game back on an even footing. As we're now under a minute for this soul, both teams looking at this like this is gonna be a fight, right?
Absolutely. Galson's got teleport. We see Kale backing right now. Waffles maybe thinking about going in. That's going to be a win wall. Hold on. They're just going to pull the trigger. Dragon Slayer Luke is the person who's going quite low, but that's an Alistar. Taric ult coming down, which you need because Revander's got those autos, and they just take 2 right away. Devil going quite low. Vex is going to go in. Kev's going to get that kill. The fear's coming through. Galson, though, on the back line. He knows he needs to get Revander, but Rathouse saves him with the ultimate right there. Still 4 alive on the side of NGO, and they are forced to back up as now this dragon is just open for them to take.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disjointed fight there from Kickin Squids. A fantastic Q3 from Devil. Double knockup, gets in there with the ult, forces a fight to start, says, I don't care if you want to take this slow, we're playing on my time, and he just pushes that fight into fruition. and the rest of his team really quick on the trigger to follow up. But from the side of Kickin Squids, you're looking at that fight, and that was a bit of a breakdown, right? A big separation of the carries and the front line. When you're front lining in League of Legends, everyone knows this, that you can only be taking damage while your carries are dealing damage, right? That's the whole thing. You need to play that spacing, and they took all of that damage without their carries able to do any sort of damage, right? So definitely need to regroup and come back into these next team fights with a better fight lines and more coordination, because that fight they absolutely fell apart. And NGO, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and we saw it right there. They took the whole damn thing.
If NGO wins this game, the people who bet on them are going to win so much money. Devil's going to go in, the 1v1, the 2 mid laners fighting down here in the bottom lane, down to half health already. Vex just getting cut through, and the Devil is in the details as he comes through and wins the 1v1.
Oof. Met the Devil on the crossroads, couldn't quite sell the soul. Really just takes him right there. That was really cleanly done, Yes, the Vex in lane, super effective in this Yasuo, but in an extended fight in a side lane with no turret in sight, just mano-y-mano, that Yasuo wins that every single time. And so just, really well played by Devil there. Sees the opportunity, realizes that Kev has pushed up a little too far, got a little too big for his britches, and it makes him pay for it. So now, gold lead now in the side of NGO. Gold right where they want it to. 3 kills on this Lilia, 3 kills on this Yasuo, with the soul firmly in place. Feeling really good now as they push down these waves and are trying to break down a tier 2 turret.
Dude, this series has had absolutely everything, and this game is no exception. Galson getting a little bit of a knock-up right there. And once again, the Kickin Squid putting a lot on the line here for this Kale to scale up to become the hero, the savior that's going to come in at the end of the game. Ravander as well on this Jinx. Kev has to back up there. Got to be careful.
That soul with the Ezreal is so difficult. 1 Q puts Rat House below half health. Really tough. Oh,
yeah, they might even be looking to just like start fights at this point. Kev has allergies. The Drowsy's going to come through just on 1 target, but they want it. They think they can pick him, and they can. They get the Vex, and they're able to pull off. The map is kind of theirs. This soul so strong, especially early. And now finally their gold lead has crept into the lead, although stats-wise, I think the gold they've been in the lead in that regard for quite some time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the soul is easily worth 2K. Worth 2K worth of damage and stats and just effectiveness. So, you add that into it, and they are just firmly in control of this game now. Up in gold 2K, 2.5K, but definitely feels like much more as they're taking down turrets across the map here. Force the flash on a Woofy. Yeah, the flash on a Woofy is a big cooldown because that's as easy it is for them to kind of walk down and just kind of poke people out to start fights. The tools that they have to around an objective start a 5v5. A Woofy's flash is a huge part of that, right? Landing a big flash sleep on multiple people. That's like a huge tool for them to start fights. And so without that down, it's going to be a little more difficult. Whereas on the other side, the Kickin Squids, they have a lot of ways to start fights, right? It's just the starting fights hasn't been the problem for them. It's winning those fights.
Right.
So gonna have to see how they're able to play this out.
Kale's at level 15.
Never underestimate
One
the power of the Scout's
one more.
code.
That's what they need. Hot damn. God.
Yeah. The Kale farming up, really effectively, most farm in the game, and taking over that level 15. If they can get some solo XP onto this Kale.
Waffle's gonna go in, lands it, but Woofy's on the side. Wait, that could be a big sleep on the back end, deciding not to pull the trigger. If there's a fight, it goes out to Kyoshin, who just resubbed 2 months on Prime. Thank you so much. And Mathematics, who followed us about 9 minutes ago. Let's see, both these teams jockeying. Baron Baron is up, but in a minute until Elder, and that is what scares me.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Woofy, I love the decision there. He just hangs around that flank, hits it big E, but does not pull the trigger on the ult, knows that that ultimate is going to be so important for them, and the threat of that ultimate makes his E poke so much more scary.
Yes.
And so holds on to that, keeps them at bay, because he knows that a fight around Baron feels good, but a fight around Elder wins the game.
Oh, Dragon Slayer Luke walking up. It's an Alistar, but how much punishment can it take? He flashes away. The man is fine. I'm just scared and excited. 30 seconds on the clock till Elder is up for grabs. Once Elder's up for grabs, obviously you don't want to give away Elder, but we have seen it traded away before for Baron with some success. You just try to turtle up, but I don't think either of these teams are gonna settle for that. Let's see. Lilia doesn't land that E. Massive Ezreal ult right there as both teams are on opposite sides. Their homes are in the other direction right here, actually trapping each other on enemy sides of the map here. Dragon Slayer Luke taking so much poke. God, the Raptors might kill the man. That is a lot of damage coming out from Nuwufi, and they're going to start this up. They want to draw them into the fight. The rocket comes down, doesn't connect with anyone, just gets them vision. Let's see. The Squids need to find an angle right here if they're going to do something. Kev thinks about taking the Hex Gate, Dragon down to half health. That's going to be the win wall. I believe that blocked the ult. Waffles goes in, but blue team gets it, and the fight is going to pop off right here. Kale is not 16. They start to run. Kev has allergies, going to be drowsy right there, and just cut down by Uwufi. 2 for nothing so far. Roundhouse takes so much damage from the Ezreal. There's the Q. One more auto does it. That's the Elder pop. 3 down and Elder in the pocket of NGO. It didn't look good in the draft phase, but they pulled it back through map play. This is how you play as a team as they come crashing down the mid lane. Drop that turret. Inhibs next. They could just press on and end it right here. Oh my god, they won game 1, dropped game 2. Their backs were up against the wall. They've got to fight for it right here. Nice knockup by Luke, gonna go in. Devil going quite low, but Ravander gonna get picked on the back end. And Luke now, he's got a lot of health, but he doesn't have the damage. Waffles showing up. Some slightly low health bars on the blue side. Can they get that tower? They might actually get pushed off. Sammy's walking up, but now Kev is here. The battle lines are actually being drawn. Oh, God, I hate the fact that Spectator does this. God, please, Riot, fix this. Why would this be a feature in your client? Okay, so obviously the game didn't end right there. But we're back. They're going to retreat and probably pick up Baron.
What a fight from NGO. What ended up being the big crux, that early chunk out of Dragon Slayer Luke, knocking him a half up as he face checks, right? That we called out, didn't seem as like a big deal at the time. But then, a little bit more poke lands on him. And before the fight has even started, before the Elder is even spawned, Dragon Slayer Luke forced to back, forcing a 4v5 fight in a fight that they feel like they have to fight. Big win wall from Devil blocks Kev's ult on the Vex, denies him entry into the fight. Waffles engages, but his team does not have the damage behind him, just scared to push up. The Kale unable to impact the team fight in any meaningful way. And I think what we're really seeing here is that, NGO feel like they've learned from the mistakes of game 2, right? Game 2, they threw the game because they just overdove. They forced fights they didn't have to, and tried to take more than they needed to. Whereas in this game, been so impressed in this mid game at how calm, cool, and collected, how patient they've been. Patience is a virtue, and they're showing it here because they're playing around their cooldowns, they're playing around their poke, they're doing just enough to get what they need and backing out. They're forcing fights when it comes to them, but otherwise they're just letting their
absolutely. And a fight's gonna break out as Waffle shows up. There's the flash forward, and Rathouse does have level 16. He's gonna come here, but that wind wall's doing a lot of work. And the dive into the backline of Zuwufi is gonna take down Ravander. Waffle's going to get Devil, and he actually gets him on the backline. Rathouse down to half health, but here he is. He's actually doing it, but Galson, hold on though. He's still got health. He turns onto Whitestone. One more auto would do it, but he's just not gonna get it. That's Galson. He lives through it all. Kev has allergies, falls in the end, and that's a double kill for the Ezreal. And that was a close final fight, but NGO does indeed do it. And to quote Bob and George, Devil, I apologize. You came through, buddy. And there it is. NGO takes the series in Game 3.
Yes, they do. What an impressive showing from them. Just truly masterfully played in the mid game there, just playing to the limits so perfectly, not giving the Kickin Squids a chance to even get into some of those fights, playing around their range so effectively. Just a really, really impressive performance. Another fantastic Ezreal performance from Wise, just absolutely showing that, giving him that champ 3 games in a row, you're going to get punished. The man knew how to play it, and he played it well. Just a really, really impressive performance there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the 3 games of Ezreal, and you totally see why it was picked. And, I mean, for what it's worth, that final fight, Rat House actually surviving really far. And if Ezreal hadn't E'd out of there, maybe that goes a little bit different, right? That last auto takes him down.
E flashes fully out of range.
Right, yes.
So that Galston on this Aatrox, building the lethality, is able to just kind of one-tap him. Yeah, really well done. Playing around tiny little margins to take the game. Richard Arlison calling out Galston there, saying he hard carried 2 of those fights, your MVP. I totally agree. I think Galston had 2 unbelievably strong performances. Honestly, 3. His performance on the Gnar in game 2, even though they didn't have a win, was really inspired and really, really impressive. So really impressive team fighting from him. Really strong performance from Weiss and the Ezreal. Devil, we called it out, had a really hard matchup, but was really able to take it and run with it. And Sammy Chuslap, 3 games of Tarek, 3 games of dominance, man. He really showed up on that champ. And then, of course, Uwufi on the Lilia, absolutely pooing out damage. Another really solid performance there. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to give an MVP of the whole series, I'm going to give it to Weiss. I think Weiss on the Ezreal, had the pentakill in game 2, but even without that, just a really solid performance all around.
Totally.
In anchor, exactly. They kind of built, the only constant in their drafts was their bot lane, right?
Yes.
The guarantee was Ezreal Tarek every single game, and they really played around it well. They played around the fact that, Weiss is such a rock that they don't have to play around him. They can really just, leave him on an island, let him do what he needs to do. And in team fights, they don't need to peel for him because he's playing such a safe champion if piloted correctly, right? We all say Ezreal's a safe ADC, but you can run it down on any champion. And then Sammy Two-Slap on that Tarek, just being right there with him and just doing all of the utility needed to keep his team alive. So really good performance. Really good performance from both teams, though. Don't want to, downplay the performance of Kickin Squids. Just a fantastic fight back in game 2, showing a lot of heart and a lot of intangibles. So really, really, really good series. Great series.
100% super exciting series. You want to do a quick interview? 1 question each?
Love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, folks. You know the drill. Nefarious Gaming Omens, send your champion to community and we will pull them in. Rapid fire. We will ball up and pitch a 90-mile-per-hour question right at you. We're not giving you a glove. Okay. This is Uwufi. Uwufi said, if I come on the interview, you got to be nice to me. I promised I'd be super nice. So here we are. Uwufi, welcome to the cast. I'm so excited it's you. We talked about this. We're going to be so nice. Congratulations. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. We're each going to ask you 1 question. It's going to be quick and easy. But first of all, congratulations on your win. You have anything you'd like to say about the win in general?
I certainly am not the MVP, but I just simply asked my team, can I go do it? Because I
love it
with you.
Yes.
They carried me. I was happy. It's super stressful. I hope I never have to face that team again. But it was a lot of fun.
Okay, here's my question. Obviously, insane Gragas plays from you. You guys didn't win game 2, but you had this incredible alley-oop ult where you ulted I forget who, but somebody like in the path of Ezreal ult. Was that planned? Or do you just live and breathe Gragas? What was happening when that Pentakill was playing out?
Unfortunately for me, I did a combo. I ulted to try to finish the kill. I left and went, she lived with a 1. And then the Ezreal ult passed my screen and killed him.
Nice.
So it was calculated, though.
Fully
just
calculated.
like you drew it up.
I
Just like you drew it up.
ABC. Just
That's
give him
awesome.
Ezreal blind and, go play it.
Yeah, I mean, Weiss was he was my MVP for that series. I thought he absolutely showed up all 3 games. My question for you, going back again to game 2 there, when you guys kind of fumbled the execution at the end of the game there, how did you guys bounce back for game 3? Because it really felt like you had the capability of letting the tilt course through you, losing a game where you were up so much.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm probably the most susceptible to not necessarily tilt, but just being concerned. A little bit of stress of like whenever we get streamed too, I get a little nervous. But I think I just had trust in like what everybody will do. Like at one point, Devil and Yasuo just got like a kill in the side lane, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was happening. I guess we just go do the objectives now. So we kind of have that feel of like when Sammy's on the Taric or Whis on whatever. Everybody will just do their job, and then when the team comes together, I'll come and try to figure out what we're doing. So it's like, yeah, we lost. It was like a tough loss because I felt like we were winning up until our Nexus died, because Kale stuff. And then game 3, I was like, okay, they have the Kale again and the Jinx. But I'm like, I kind of feel like we played it really good game 2, so just run it back. A little bit more caution.
Hashtag Kale stuff. All right, well, Uwufi, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on, I believe, locking in playoffs. Do you know the math on that?
I thought the math was that if we lost and then Kickin Squids, don't they face you in the makeup week?
No, they face somebody else. Not us, but somebody else.
I think there was a world where they could knock us out. I don't know. I mean,
I think there was a world. It would have required other things to happen.
I just show up at the objective when my team tells me to and hope I've not started Krugs.
Dude, that's all you got to do.
That's a good juggle. That's a good juggle right there.
All right,
maybe
man.
Smite the enemy support. But
thank you so much for coming on. Good luck in the rest of the season and playoffs. I hope that you and I end up on opposite ends of the rift at some point in playoffs, and we get to duke it out.
I look forward to it. Thank you for casting. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely,
Good
man.
game, bud.
Good game. That was Uwufi Jungler for Nefarious Gaming Omens. A thank you to my incredible co-caster, one of the best vampers in the game, and just an absolute eternal wellspring of knowledge. Spooky, thanks so much for coming on. A blast as always.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a great time. Love casting with you. It was a lot of fun. Great series.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we are going to raid someone. We're paying out. God, the people who bet on Nefarious just won a bunch of money. But we will see you all maybe tomorrow. I do believe there's a stream tomorrow, but only quote me on it when it happens. All right. Good night, folks.
Bye.